Martial Realm sign in. Im Hyuk-jun said to Jin Tae-kyung that he could always find a way to get rid of the evidence. I'm only like this because I've heard some rumors from some people. Jin Tae-kyung asked, what kind of rumors? Im Hyuk-jun replied, it's about Im Chun-soo, the Sangdong Guild master. His nickname is Frozen. The A-rank hunter, Im Chun-soo, was a mage who played a crucial role during the Great Catastrophe. He was also one of the few handful of mages that were gifted in systematic freezing-type magic, which was how he garnered the nickname Frozen. After the Great Catastrophe, instead of retiring from his duty, he decided to establish the Sangdong Guild. However, there were already prominent guilds in the Bucheon province, which made it quite difficult for any newer guilds to set up in that region. The only reason why the Sangdong Guild survived to this day was because Im Chun-soo completely decimated all of the rival guilds on his own. It was also during this time that the rumors regarding his cruel nature spread. The servant said the two parties bet $4 million each, so a total of $8 million were transferred. Here are the statements regarding this matter. Im Hyuk-jun continued, so what do you think will happen if a person like that finds out about today's matter? Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself. Would it really be possible for him to overlook the shame and humiliation brought to his only son? Im Chun-soo said, 8 million. Fucking idiot. Which whore was it this time? Suddenly someone opened the door and the security pushed Im Chang-soo inside, saying, Master Im Chun-soo, I brought him. Im Chang-soo said, Father. He then added, let me explain myself. Im Chun-soo stood up and said, all right. It seems you're finally here. He used his skill and made an ice club, saying, I have a lot of questions, but let me first knock some sense into you. Im Chang-soo pleaded, no, father. Just give me some time to. Im Chun-soo interrupted, shut the hell up, you brat. As Im Chun-soo punished his son, Im Chang-soo cried out in pain, ah, ouch. In a different scene, on a street at a restaurant, Jin Tae-kyung's mother was cleaning the table and wiping sweat off her face. Suddenly, the door opened as the bell rang. His mom said, welcome, as Jin Tae-kyung stood at the door silent. Jin Tae-kyung said, hi, Mom. His mom responded, Tae-kyung? A few moments later at their home, Jin Tae-kyung showed a message from his bank saying, web message Mr. Jin Tae-kyung. $4 million has been transferred to your account. Kim Jong-hui exclaimed, $4 million? Jin Hae-an asked, is this real? Jin Tae-kyung said, see, I'm earning a lot of money these days. So, Mom, there's no need for you to work at these restaurants. There will be no meaning to all of this if you continue to overwork yourself. I just want you and Hae-on to live a safe and comfortable life. I know you've been refusing to use my money since you didn't want to burden me, but did you really think I wouldn't know that? What's going on right now? This is the first time I'm seeing so many zeros. I won't be able to rest easily if you refuse my help, Mom. You as well, Hae-on. Stop staying up so late studying. Take better care of your body and… Sniffle. What's wrong with your face? Are you hurt somewhere? Jin Hae-an said, I have a high fever right now. I ended up being sent home early from school today because of it, but my fever isn't important here when there are $4 million on the table. It's fine though. Summer break starts tomorrow, so I just need to focus on studying for a bit more. Jin Tae-kyung said, what? Did you even go see a doctor yet? Jin Hae-an replied, I did. I'm also taking the prescribed medicine. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, I know it's a bit pricey, but I'm sure she'll make a fast recovery if she went and saw a renowned healer or drank some high-quality potions. Kim Jong-hui said, I don't think the medicine is doing anything for you. Ah, that's warm. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, why are they holding themselves back like this? Or sigh. Even something like chi circulation should be able to instantly. Suddenly, he thought of something and said to himself, Jin Tae-kyung said, wait, give me your hand. Jin Hae-an, confused, asked, huh? What the hell are you doing? Why are you holding my hand? It's kind of gross. Jin Tae-kyung said, just stay still. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, will it work? As Jin Tae-kyung focused on his core and transferred his chi to Jin Hae-on, as it passed through Jin Hae-on's hand, she felt relief and said, ah. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, it's working. Jin Hae-on, still confused, asked, what is this? Huh? Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, the Jin family's cultivation technique has a slower cultivation speed, but it allows for you to build an extremely strong and stable internal core. That's why I'm sure Hae-on will be able to control it as well. Jin Tae-kyung said, it's going to hurt a bit, but just endure it, okay? Jin Hae-on, still confused, asked, what? Suddenly she was shocked. 1 hour later, Jin Tae-kyung and Jin Hae-on said, a system notification rang, ding. You have successfully completed your chi transfer. Ding, your chi has improved slightly. Jin Hae-on said, my fever's gone. Oppa, what did you just do? Jin Tae-kyung replied, I just used my jin. Let's just say you were cured with an extremely powerful oriental healing technique. Anyhow, how are you feeling? Jin Haeyeon said, It hurt at first, but as time passed, I started to feel a sense of relief. My body feels lighter, and my headache is gone. How do I explain it? I guess it's like all the bad energies from my body got flushed out? I don't know if that makes any sense. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, that's pretty accurate. Jin Tae-kyung said, Alright, sure, hurry and wash up, you reek. Jin Haeyeon said, Huh? But I took a shower this morning. What are you? Kya, Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself. Where else would the 19 years of turbid energy in your body have gone? It all got expunged out of your pores. At this rate, you should start to feel something else coming out of your... As Jin Haeyeon tried to run to the bathroom, she farted loudly, making bass sounds. She said, Ah! Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, there we go, it's begun. Kim Jong-hui said, Oh my goodness. When I was younger, I did have some experience with oriental medication, but not to this extent. Her skin seems to look clearer. Jin Tae-kyung said, The effects aren't bad, right? Do you want to give it a try, Mom? Kim Jong-hui said, Should I? My digestion has been pretty bad these days. Maybe I should also. Jin Haeyeon farted loudly. As she continued to fart, Jin Tae-kyung said, Let's do this after Haeyeon gets out of the bathroom. Jin Haeyeon said, All right. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, Our house only has one bathroom. A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung said into the phone, A 1-week break? Choi Min-woo said, That's correct. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, A 1-week break. Did something happen with the guild? Jin Tae-kyung said, You guys didn't get in trouble with the Sangdong Guild, right? Choi Min-woo said, Sangdong Guild? Jin Tae-kyung replied, Well, there was that incident with Im Chun-soo. Choi Min-woo said, There's no need for you to worry about that. We're currently in the process of remodeling our guild. It should be done in about a week. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, Thank God nothing happened. But what do remodeling and raiding have to do with each other? Jin Tae-kyung said, Leader Choi, I still want some work to do. I know you told me to take a break, but I think, Choi Min-woo said, I'll see you in a week. I'm hanging up now. I have some work to do. Jin Tae-kyung said, Okay. As Jin Tae-kyung looked at the realty office, he walked in. The bald man looked at Jin Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung said, I'm here to look for some houses. At the guild office, Choi Min-woo put down his phone. Kim Hwa-jong asked, What did he say? Choi Min-woo said, It seems he was pretty worried about the issues regarding the Sangdong Guild. Kim Hwa-jong replied, He's quite an interesting young man. Even though he seems to act without much thought, his senses are quite sharp. Choi Min-woo thought to himself, He was definitely a clueless F-rank hunter when I first met him. But he was still able to solo a BB rank Gatial on his own last time. I had some suspicions, but this just confirms it. Jin Tae-kyung is a hunter that continues to get stronger, not to mention, at an extremely fast pace. Choi Min-woo said, Butler Kim. Kim Hwa-jong replied, Yes, young master. Choi Min-woo said, Do you think you can find any information regarding hunters that received a third awakening? Kim Hwa-jong said, Excuse me? I understand. It'll take some time, but I'm sure it'll be worth looking into. Choi Min-woo said, Thank you. That's right. Is there any news regarding the Sangdong Guild? Kim Hwa-jong replied, It seems they've already dispatched their spies. I'm certain that their target is Mr. Jin Tae-kyung, but we shouldn't exclude the possibilities that Ms. Song and Mr. Im are targets as well. That is why I informed them ahead of time. Shouldn't we do the same for Mr. Jin Tae-kyung? Choi Min-woo said, It's fine. The Sangdong Guild's intelligence unit is much stronger than ours, so I'm actually kind of hoping that they reveal the true nature behind Mr. Jin Tae-kyung's identity. Kim Hwa-jong said, I see. In any case, it seems the Sangdong Guild master has become quite tame. If this incident happened in the past, he would have definitely started a war against us. Choi Min-woo asked, What do you mean by that? Kim Hwa-jong replied, I've met the Sangdong Guild master before. Choi Min-woo asked, Are you two on bad terms? Kim Hwa-jong said, I'm not exactly sure. Ah ha ha ha. A few moments later, the bald man said to Jin Tae-kyung, This is the place. 4 rooms, 2 bathrooms, large living room, a 2-story house with a personal terrace. A house that matches your conditions within the safe district would be this one over here. What are your thoughts? Jin Tae-kyung said, It's pretty good, but if I remember correctly, I'm certain that this place used to be an apartment complex in the past. You said you lived in this area when you were younger, right? The bald realtor said. This place was redeveloped 10 years ago, so a lot has changed. It used to hold a lot of old apartment complexes, but then the Hunters Association's main headquarters was built 30 minutes away from this place. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, Yeah, that sounds about right. We were forced to move away from this place since our rent skyrocketed due to the whole redevelopment of this area. The bald realtor said, in any case, it's not easy coming across an affordable house like this. The owner of this place is a stingy old man. As Jin Tae-kyung remembered his mom crying when he was little, he thought to himself, that was around the time that my father passed away. Jin Tae-kyung said, if it's okay with you, can I look around this neighborhood for a bit? The bald realtor sweated and said, the contract, you'll follow through on it, right? Jin Tae-kyung said, oh, of course. I'll make sure to do so. The bald realtor pushed Jin Tae-kyung out and said, then please go right ahead. I'm sure it won't take too long. I'll be taking a quick smoke break over there, so make sure to enjoy your walk. As Jin Tae-kyung walked, he said to himself, I'm pretty sure a supermarket was around here. Am I going the right way? He then noticed someone in the distance and said, oh, Lee Sam said to his girl, when I was younger this used to be my hideout, the old granny at this place usually. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, it turned into a convenience store. Oh well, I guess that's not too bad. Who the hell is that guy? Lee Sam said to his girl. Hold on. Jin Tae-kyung said. Excuse, Lee Sam said. I can't believe it. You're from Gura Middle School, right? 3rd year, class 6, Jin Tae-kyung. It's me, bro, Park Ji-hwang. Jin Tae-kyung, shocked, said, Park Ji-hwang? A few moments later, Park Ji-hwang's girl said, there wasn't anything special about him. Park Ji-hwang said, what's with your attitude? You don't like him? His girl said, yep, since he's your friend, I didn't want to say anything, but if I had to be honest, he really doesn't stand out. Park Ji-hwang said, that's weird. He used to be pretty popular when he was younger. He was tall for his age, had a strong physique, and was good at sports. He also wasn't that bad looking. His girl said, I don't think so. He looks more like a loser. What's his job? She asked. Park Ji-hwang said, I forgot to ask him about that. When he was younger, he said he wanted to be a PE instructor. Maybe that's his job. His girl said, you've spoiled me. Because of you, I really can't find any other men attractive. Not only are you good looking, but your personality and talents are the best. You're 100 times better than the person you call your friend. Park Ji-hwang said, no need to talk so badly about him. He's a good guy. His girl said, you said this was the first time you've seen him in 10 years. Not to mention, he was the one who moved out of town and cut off contact with you. Are you sure you two are friends, Park? Ji-hwang smirked and said, nope. At a coffee shop, Jin Tae-kyung looked at the calling card of Park Ji-hwang, which said, Sangdong Guild, Team 1 Hunter. Park Ji-hoon Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, to think that a friend I haven't seen for over 10 years is a hunter now. Strange. Should I also start handing out business cards? He must be an elite hunter if he was able to join the Sangdong Guild within their Team 1 division, if I remember correctly. I think he had a dark complexion and was pretty short for his age. Why did he change his name? Looks like he went through a glow-up phase, since he's gotten pretty tall and has a hot girl hanging around him. He's grown to be a fine dragon. As he remembered what Park Ji-hwang had said earlier, I was planning to get together with some of our middle school classmates. You better come for some drinks, okay? His girl said, Oppa, let's go. I'm tired. Park Ji-hwang said, all right. It was nice meeting ya. I'll see you around. Jin Tae-kyung said, huh? Oh, okay. As Jin Tae-kyung sat on the chair outside, he was silent and then said to himself, now that I think about it, was I even close with that dude? He then realized something and said, oh shit, I completely forgot about my contract. In a different scene, the old bald realtor was on his 3rd pack of cigarettes and said to himself, how long is a simple stroll around this neighborhood? As Jin Tae-kyung walked the streets at night, he sang, la 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 As his contract was sealed, the old bald realtor said in joy, the standard market price is $3.3 million. Since we'll only be accepting the down payment for today. Thought you ran away. Let's schedule an appointment to properly purchase the house. Jin Tae-kyung continued to sing, and he said to himself, I think moving to our new place should be done after Haeyeon finishes her final exams. We'll have plenty of time before then. I guess I'll work on remodeling the house so that it looks pretty similar to the house we used to live in when we were younger. I bet my mom would be surprised. After I finish my contract, I'll have to book an appointment for an interior designer. And then, suddenly, he felt a presence following him in a dark alley. He then took out his knife and turned around, but as nobody was there, Jin Tae-kyung, confused, saw a cat and said, huh? What the hell? A cat? Did I overreact? Nah. I definitely sensed something weird, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, using his skill Chi sense, and scanned the area. He saw the level 1 street cat. Jin Tae-kyung said, I guess if the system doesn't detect anything, then it's fine. Must be the side effect of me being on edge lately. Man, I'm craving some ginseng chicken soup. I guess I'll treat my mom and my sister to dinner. A few moments later, a man suddenly gasped. He drank a whole bottle of water quickly and said, "Whew, holy shit, that scared the fuck out of me. What the hell is wrong with that dude? Why the fuck did he turn around and stare at me over here? Shit." He then said to himself, "There's no way that he noticed me, right? Nah, there's no way that's possible. I'm a B-rank mage, Hongwu Jin. Although I may not be strong on my offensive abilities, no one can come close to my tracking and observation magics. Even when I'm assigned to high-ranking hunters, I've never been detected before. That's why it's impossible for some C-rank hunter to detect me. Yeah, it's impossible. It was just a coincidence. It has to be." A few moments later, a fly buzzed near Jin Tae-kyung. He tried to kill it with his bare hands and shouted in frustration, "Holy shit, why are there so many flies?" Jin Haeon said, "Because it's summer. Are you stupid, Oppa?" Jin Tae-kyung said in anger, "It's not even one fly. There's multiples of them. I caught like 100 flies today." Jin Haeon said, "Stop exaggerating. This is why men are so." Sigh. Jin Tae-kyung said, "I'm not exaggerating. Every time I catch one, another one appears. It's a never-ending cycle of these. See, look, there's another one over there. Where the hell are these bastards coming from?" Jin Haeon said, "Just leave it alone. It'll quiet down in a few minutes." Jin Tae-kyung sat down and said, "What kind of bullshit are you spouting? Do you really think it'll stay quiet if you leave it alone?" Jin Haeon said, "But the fly in my room is pretty quiet." Jin Tae-kyung said, "What?" They looked at the fly. Jin Haeon said, "See, what did I tell you? Now hurry and give me my $100. Jin Tae-kyung said, "Hold on." As Jin Tae-kyung hovered his hand above the fly, he said, "Yo sis, do flies usually run around like that?" Jin Haeon said, "No clue. Maybe it just doesn't want to fly. Anyhow, give me my money." As the fly flew away, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "Nah, something's off. It's way too suspicious. Not only is the timing of its movements completely wrong, but it's also trying really hard to act normal. There's also that incident from last night, where I felt like someone was keeping their eyes on me. What if I'm not overreacting?" He then used his chi sense, ding ding ding. As he looked around, confused, he said, "Huh? Level 1 housefly familiar, level 1 housefly familiar, level 1 housefly familiar. What the hell is that? Huh?" In a different scene, Im Chun-soo looked at the file of Jin Tae-kyung and continued to read the target report. Im Chun-soo said, "Hey, Team Leader 1. Team Leader 1 said, "Yes, Guildmaster." Im Chun-soo said, "A low-ranking C-rank hunter being able to single-handedly take down a legendary Minotaur warrior. Do you think that's possible?" Team Leader 1 said, "No, I believe that is impossible." Im Chun-soo said, "Then who the hell wrote up this report?" "I believe his name was Hong something." Team Leader 1 said, "It was Hongwu Jin. Although he's young and doesn't have too much field experience, his skills are the real deal." Im Chun-soo shattered the report and said, "Yes, Hongwu Jin, tell that bastard to write up another report. Bring me an ice cup as well. Also, what about the other thing that I asked about? The other members of that Love Guild or Peace Guild or whatever their guild name was? Were you able to find anything about them?" Team Leader 1 said, I was just about to give my report on that, sir. However, it seems any information regarding the guildmaster and the team leader of that guild has been put under a heavy lock." Im Chun-soo, confused, said, "What?" Team Leader 1 said, "Not only are their personal information locked away, but their financial statements as well. The intelligence team that we hired are quite perplexed." As the room went silent, Im Chun-soo said, "Did you short them of money?" Team Leader 1 said, "No, sir. In fact, I gave them a large chunk of money." Im Chun-soo said, "Then what's the issue?" Team Leader 1 said, "I'm not sure either, sir. They're being quite reluctant about this whole issue. According to them, it was their superiors who placed this heavy restriction on their information." Im Chun-soo said, "What?" And he said to himself, "What the hell is this? Not only are they a newly formed guild, but they're also a small guild without any rating recognition. And not just one, but 2 of their members have a lock on their information? There's something off about this. What is going on here?" Team Leader 1 said, "What should we do now, sir?" Im Chun-soo said, "The ones we hired. Make sure they keep their mouths shut. We'll investigate them at a later time. Instead, we're going to focus on finding everything we can about Jin Tae-kyung. Gather our intelligence team and mobilize them." Team Leader 1 said, "You want us to mobilize our team?" Im Chun-soo said, "That's right. This report isn't completely useless. There's definitely something worth looking into. And let's be honest here. Our intelligence team is quite skilled as well." Team Leader 1 said, I suppose that's true. Im Chun-soo said to himself, just so you know, now that I've been commissioned for this task, it better be solely under my jurisdiction. You guys got that? In 1 week, I'll be sure to find out everything about him, even down to the color of his underwear. Make sure you guys don't get involved, because as soon as my target starts to suspect anything, then my work is over. Team Leader 1 said to himself, should I inform him about any of this? Im Chun-soo said, why? You got something else to say? Team Leader 1 was shocked, bowed down and said, no sir, I'll make sure to follow your orders. Im Chun-soo said, good, you may leave now. Team Leader 1 said to himself, I hope nothing bad comes from this. Everything should be okay, right? Back in Jin Tae-kyung's home, Jin Tae-kyung was still trying to kill the fly. He said in frustration and anger, holy shit, why are there so many fucking flies? Jin Hae-in said, because it's summer. Are you stupid, Oppa? Jin Tae-kyung said, it's not even one fly. There are multiples of them. I caught like 100 flies today. Jin Hae-in said, stop exaggerating. This is why men are so sigh. As he groaned, saying, ah! Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, damn you, Sangdong Guild, you amateurs, even after I told you fuckers not to get involved. As the larva tried to run away, trembling, it said, how dare you slap me? I don't know what I should be more amazed about, the fact that their familiar usage is blatantly obvious, or the fact that these idiots are too stupid to even notice how obvious all of this is. Fine, then starting tomorrow, I'm going to be a bit more bold with my approach. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, familiar magic. It's a one-of-a-kind mind control magic used by mages. This magic allows a user to form a link with any living organism in order to turn them into their familiar. And depending on their skill level, they are also able to submit them to do their bidding. 300 meters, safe zone, 500 meters, anger zone. For normal B-rank mages, their maximum input distance is around 500 meters, with 300 meters being their preferred distance. Another thing to keep in mind is that once a familiar dies while linked to the user, there will be a forced disconnect, and the user will also suffer some damage. It's because of these reasons that there are only a handful of mages that specialize in this kind of mind control magic, as the training required is quite intense and at times difficult. But another factor as to why there aren't too many of these mages is because the more they use this magic, the more they lose their hair and end up going bald. After discovering a familiar in my house the other day, this is all the information that I could gather from the hunters community. I have my guesses as to who sent these people after me. The only ones who would hold a grudge against me right now would be none other than the Sangdong Guild. But since I'm seeing more than one familiar inside my house, as a fly counts the push-ups of Jin Tae-kyung saying, 967, 968, 969. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, it's safe to assume that this isn't just one group or organization that's after me. That's why it's pretty difficult for me to come up with a solid plan. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to give up and not do anything about it. Not only are they intruding into my life, but they're also snooping into my family's life as well. I won't let them get away with this. How can I best fuck them over? The very next day, he started to work pretty hard. He first headed to a store that specializes in hunters' equipment and bought out every single low-ranking item that he could find. As the lady said to Jin Tae-kyung, that will be $3,500, clear customer. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, the next thing I did was to go around pretending to look for apartments. And for the next few days, I ended up looking up quite a few different places that were within 500 meters of my place. Jin Tae-kyung said to the realtor with hair, just show me everything that you've got. It could be used or new. I'll buy it if I like it. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, and since I could sense a faint trace of mana everywhere I went, I had to act under the pretense that I might have some wiretap magic attached to me, which forced me to ask a bunch of questions in a roundabout way. Building 3, room 101, 4th building, room 301, 3rd building, room 202. But in the end, I managed to find out everything that I needed. These bastards also started to change. Jin Hae-in said, Kaya, it's so cute, as she held a level 1 kitten familiar, and it said, meow. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, ha, Young brought in a familiar that was disguised as a cat. Jin Tae-kyung looked at them silently and said to himself, as if they were having a competition, the very next day, another cat familiar showed up in front of me. Another cat? These fuckers have no creativity. I feel bad for you cats. As they ran around Jin Tae-kyung's foot, level 1 kitten familiar, level 1 kitten familiar, a man in the distance said, those kittens seem to have taken a liking to you. Are you raising them? Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, I guess they were worried that I wouldn't take the cats into my house or something. Lee Sam said, "Looks like they got abandoned. You'll have to take good care of them. They're dog-like cats. Look at them," Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "because this random man showed up recently in my neighborhood and started to act all friendly towards me." Lee Sam waved at Jin Tae-kyung and said, "I'll see you around, fellow neighbor." Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "I don't really know what's up with you guys, but I guess you're desperate or something." I finally finished preparing everything. At night, Jin Tae-kyung sat alone at his desk. The kitten sat on his bed. The others sat on the table. The orange kitty said to himself, "That bastard has to be Hong Woo-jin." The other said to herself, "You shitty Sangdong Guild." Jin Tae-kyung's phone rang, and he answered. "Hello, it's me, Jin Tae-kyung." Lee Sam on the other line said, "Ah, yes, the plan has been set into motion." "That's correct. Yes, it seems the Sangdong Guild hasn't caught on to me just yet." Jin Tae-kyung said, "The item?" As the kiddies looked at Jin Tae-kyung and listened, he took out a flash drive and said, "I have it right here with me." As the kittens looked at the flash drive with seriousness, Jin Tae-kyung said, "Yes, sir." Lee Sam on the other line said, "All right, I'll make sure everything sounds good, sir. See you then." Jin Tae-kyung stood up and said, "Ah, shit! Why is my body so sore today? Did I do too many push-ups last night?" He put the flash drive in his pocket and said, "I guess I'll just go for a stroll in the mountains to loosen up my body a bit." As he opened the door and said to himself, "From what I've gathered from the real estate agencies over the past few days, there are 3 different buildings that surround my place as the focal point. Among these 3 buildings, there are also 3 different spots that have exceptional views of my place just by looking out the window. It's the perfect spot to keep watch on anyone. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if the watchers are located in those places. Since these guys utilize familiars over magic tools to keep watch on me, they're definitely careful about letting themselves get detected. I'll need to take things slow, otherwise I won't be able to catch them. If I can't get to them, then I'll force them to come to me." Jin Tae-kyung looked behind. As Level 1 Kitten looked away and Level 1 Kitten looked at the window, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "Yep, just like I thought. They won't be able to take the USB away from me by using these kittens. I'm starting to look forward to this. You bastards better not let me down." Outside at night, Choi Byung-il opened the door to the rooftop and looked around and said, He said to himself, "Should I follow him or not? Since I've been commissioned, following him would be the correct choice here. But why does this feel strange? Huh?" As he saw a person sneaking towards Jin Tae-kyung, Choi Byung-il said, "Those must be the Sangdong bastards. Are they planning to brute force this? Etch, I see how it is. You guys really want to take the glory for yourselves, you greedy bastards." He took out his phone and said, "I really should have abandoned this job ever since those Sangdong bastards showed up." And he looked at Jin Tae-kyung and said, "Jin Tae-kyung, I wanted to catch you with my own hands." As he sent a new message, recipient Sangdong Guild's Team 1 leader, "I'm terminating this job." And he pressed send. And he said to himself, "In any case, I bid you farewell." At the hiking trail, no entrance after PM, Jin Tae-kyung walked up the stairs. As there were 2 pathways, Jin Tae-kyung suddenly stopped. As he heard other footsteps, Jin Tae-kyung stopped at a distance and said, and he looked back and said, "This isn't the way to get on the hiking trail. What are you guys looking for? You guys aren't planning to talk? Ah, did you perhaps need something from me? Heh." Choi Byung-il said, "Looks like you have a decent grasp of your current situation. But why did you come all the way over here?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "Since you guys were diligently following me this whole time, I was just curious how far you'd actually come. Just think of it as training of some sort, a training for mutts." Choi Byung-il said, "Ah ha ha. You're quite arrogant for your age. Looks like you need some sense knocked into you," Jin Tae-kyung said. "I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Choi Byung-il." Choi Byung-il was shocked and said, "Huh? How did you?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "That's a trade secret," and he pointed at Kim Kwon-dong and said, "Ah, that's right. Mr. Kim Kwon-dong, we've already been acquainted, right?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "I'll make sure to take good care of the cat. And also, and Mr. Park Hyung-jin, Ju Hyun Lee Min Cheol K Kim Jun Soo. You guys can stop hiding. Aren't you guys uncomfortable in those positions? Level 44 Park Hyung-jin, Level 40 Lee Min Cheol, Level 39 Oh Gyu Hyun, Level 65 Choi Byung-il, Level 42 Kim Kwon-dong, Level 44 Kim Jun-soo," Choi Byung said. "Who the hell are you?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "What are you guys surprised about? It's okay for you guys to use familiars to find information about me while I'm not allowed to do so," Choi Byung-il said. "He even knew about our familiars?" Jin Tae-kyung smirked and said, "That's right. I was actually thinking of letting it slide. But you bastards stepped way out of line by also keeping watch on my family as well. That's why I ended up throwing out a little bait and you guys took it, Choi Byung-il said. A bait? Then that USB, Jin Tae-kyung said. Oh, this? Jin Tae-kyung gave a thumbs up for humanity's treasure and said, that's my greatest porn collection. As they were all shocked, Kim Kwon-dong said, team leader. Choi Byung-il, in anger, said, ah fuck, now that it's come to this. Let's first get rid of this bastard and then think about our next course of action. Jin Tae-kyung said, all right, come at me, you stalker bastards. Choi Byung-il and his team suddenly rushed towards Jin Tae-kyung, and Choi Byung-il shouted, get him. At Choi Byung-il's office, Im Chun-soo said, not only do we not know who this person he talked to is, but the contents of their discussion are strange as well. All of this doesn't add up. After hurriedly chasing after him without much thought, we lost contact with them. Is that correct? Team Leader 1 said, yes, sir. We usually receive a report every 2 hours, but their last report was about 4 hours ago. Im Chun-soo said, who's the person Jin Tae-kyung talked to on the phone? I'm assuming you guys know the name if you're handing me this report. Team Leader 1 said, his name is Sung Jin-ho. He's a 30-year-old man who's currently living in the city of Bucheon and is also preparing for an entrance exam. Im Chun-soo said, what? Preparing for an entrance exam? Are you sure about this? Team Leader 1 said. I was also confused, but it's the truth. He's a resident of the same apartment complex that Jin Tae-kyung lives in and is pretty much a close relative to him. Im Chun-soo said, I thought the person he was talking to had to have been around an A-rank hunter, but to think it's just a dumbass who's preparing for an entrance exam. Ah ha ha ha, looks like we've been had. Team Leader 1 said, what should we do now, sir? Im Chun-soo said, what do you mean? Since it's dinner time, we should go eat. Team Leader 1 said, excuse me? Im Chun-soo said, stop talking and just follow me. Team Leader 1 said, yes, sir. At the forest, a man trembled on the ground, as his other friends also trembled and felt pain in their bodies. Suddenly, blood splattered as Kim Kwon-dong's hand was cut, and he cried out in pain, Ack! As Choi Byung-il rushed towards Jin Tae-kyung's back, he tried to slash Jin Tae-kyung, but Jin Tae-kyung managed to dodge. Jin Tae-kyung suddenly went down for an attack and hit Choi Byung-il, who was sweating. He was hit and cried in pain. Choi Byung-il said, shit. What is your true identity? A rank hunter, have you been hiding your status? Jin Tae-kyung said, nope, I've never hid my identity before. Choi Byung-il said, stop lying, tell us the truth. Were you sent by the Aries Guild? Jin Tae-kyung said, no, I'm from the Peace Guild. Also, why would the Aries Guild be interested in your shitty guild? There's a difference in class between you guys. Choi Byung-il said, then the person you were talking to on the phone had to have been. Suddenly, Jin Tae-kyung put a sock in his mouth and said, Jin Tae-kyung said, just shut up. I'll be the one asking questions now. All right, listen up, you fuckers. Who's willing to tell me in detail about your mission? I'll be giving this to the first person who does so. As he showed a bottle of potion, he said, huh? You guys don't want this potion? No one? I see. Planning to stay quiet till the end. Suddenly, he looked at a boy and said, you there, Kim Lee Park said. Heek. I am from the investigative unit. I will never tell our inner secrets to an outsider. Jin Tae-kyung said, oh, is that so? You're a familiar magic user, right? Kim Lee Park said, huh? As he held his cap. Suddenly, he threw it away and said, ah. Jin Tae-kyung said, the moment you start lying to my questions, I'll pull out one strand of hair at a time, as Kim Lee Park screamed in pain. No. A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, as I thought, the one behind all of this is the Sangdong Guild's master, Im Chun-soo. I guess he's targeting our guild after hearing news about how his son ended up losing a fuck ton of money to me. But too bad you sent people to gather information about me, but instead, they were the ones who ended up telling me everything. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, I'm sure he'll get even more pissed once he hears about this. This is the first time I'm seeing this number. Who could it be? Jin Tae-kyung answers the phone and said, hello? Im Chun-soo replied, my name is Im Chun-soo. I heard that you have several of my men. Come down here. I'll be waiting. A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung met with Im Chun-soo and Team Leader 1. Im Chun-soo said, you look a lot different than the pictures that I received from my reports. Did you end up killing anyone up there? Jin Tae-kyung replied, now why would I do that? I don't want to build up a criminal record. Im Chun-soo said, then I suppose I should thank you for that. It seems my guys have made a critical error due to their hastiness. Do you think you can forgive them? Jin Tae-kyung said, maybe if you pay up. Team Leader 1 said, "Watch your manners, boy." Jin Tae-kyung responded, "I may be young, but I don't think I should be lectured by you guys when you were the ones who put people to keep watch on me." Team Leader 1 growled, "You little." Im Chun-soo stopped him. "Stop. As Team Leader, go and retrieve our guys." Team Leader 1 said, "I apologize, sir. I shall do just that." And he walked away. A few moments later, Im Chun-soo said, "Do you know why I'm here?" Jin Tae-kyung replied, "Because you wanted to see me," Im Chun-soo said. "When you become as old as me, you'll start to realize that time is gold. Because of that reason, I'm not the type of person who would come here just to see your face. The past 10 years have been long and tedious. I was finally able to unify all of my surrounding guilds and made it so that we had no more enemies to deal with." As he started to show off his aura, Im Chun-soo added, "That was until you folks showed up. Not to mention your guildmaster and your team leader both have private profiles with high restrictions on their information." Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "I thought this old geezer was going to be reasonable, but what's with this unsettling mood?" Im Chun-soo said, "But above all else, your existence alone has annoyed me." Jin Tae-kyung asked, "Do you really have to go this far on a C-rank hunter?" Suddenly, multiple ice shards surrounded Im Chun-soo and he said, "You see, if I become involved in something, I'm the type that has to see it through until the end, even if they are a C-rank hunter." He attacked Jin Tae-kyung, shooting multiple ice shards at him. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "Do I dodge this, or do I block it instead? Should I get my spear out? Should I not?" Suddenly, Kim Hwa-jong's voice echoed, "Surge before me, firewall." A wall of fire formed in front of Jin Tae-kyung, blocking Im Chun-soo's attacks. Jin Tae-kyung was shocked, and Im Chun-soo sweated in fear. "Tets." Kim Hwa-jong walked out of the dark. "Looks like I made it just in time," Im Chun-soo said in fear. "It can't be." Im Chun-soo thought to himself, "When I first received a report regarding the Peace Guild, I thought my eyes were deceiving me." Im Chun-soo asked, Who did you say this person was?" Team Leader 1 said, "He is the guild master of the Peace Guild, Kim Hwa-jong. He is 55 years old and a B-rank hunter." Im Chun-soo thought to himself, "And that was because Lee Sam in the picture was someone I believed I would never see again." Jin Tae-kyung asked, "Kim Hwa-jong, he's a B-rank hunter." Team Leader 1 confirmed, "That is correct, sir. Is there something wrong?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "No, he just looked like someone I knew in the past. His face is just a tad bit similar to that man. That's all there is to it. Not to mention, that demon was killed more than 30 years ago. Even though our world has changed quite a bit, that still doesn't mean a dead person can come back to life. But hypothetically speaking, even if he did come back to life, I highly doubt that he would waste his time at a place like that. This is all just a coincidence that this old B-rank hunter looks just like that man." Jin Tae-kyung continued to think to himself, "My God, even at my age, to think I would still be haunted by the trauma I suffered back then." A few moments later, after hearing news that Kim Hwa-jong's information was under high restriction, Im Chun-soo couldn't help but start to doubt himself. Could it be? No, that's not possible. However, it seemed those ominous signs weren't a mistake after all. Kim Hwa-jong said, "Surge before me, firewall." As Im Chun-soo's ice wall crumbled, he trembled and said, These flames, I instructor." He looked at Kim Hwa-jong and said, "First," and he stood up straight. "First recruit." Im Chun-soo trembled and said, "Im Shun-zatsu." Jin Tae-kyung looked at them, confused. What the fuck is going on right now? A few moments later, Team Leader 1 and his beaten-up team ran towards Jin Tae-kyung and Im Chun-soo. Team Leader 1 was shocked and said, "Master, are you all right?" Im Chun-soo said, "Took you bastards long enough." Team Leader 1 replied, "Forgive me, sir. I thought something bad had. Wait, where did Jin Tae-kyung go?" Im Chun-soo replied, "I sent him on his way. After talking with him, I found out that he wasn't a bad kid. In any case, what's wrong?" Team Leader 1 responded, I figured he might have done something." Im Chun-soo asked, "Is it because you heard some screaming earlier?" Team Leader 1 coughs nervously. Team Leader 1 said, "Yes, that's correct, sir. But I don't know why, but that voice oddly seemed like." Im Chun-soo looked back at them and said, "What about the voice?" Team Leader 1 sweated and said, It's nothing, sir." Im Chun-soo sighed, "Youth these days. Some young sprouts down there were causing a loud commotion, so I ended up teaching them a lesson." My goodness. Do colleges not enforce military discipline anymore? What's it's called? Oh, right, PT training. I gave them a quick drill, and they were so poorly out of shape that they were all screaming in pain after a few rounds of exercise. That's why Im Chun-soo paused, realizing the situation. "No, that's not what's important here. Captain of the investigative unit." Team Leader 1 said, Yes, sir." And he said to himself, "As I thought." That couldn't have been our guildmaster's voice. I guess I was just hearing tea things. Im Chun-soo said, how pathetic can you be? Even after you caused this shit, you sure don't seem remorseful at all. Kim Kwon-dong bows down and said, forgive me, sir, Team Leader 1 said to himself. There's a lot of people out there who love to badmouth our guildmaster. But once you've served under him for some time, you'll soon begin to realize that not only is he full of charisma and talent. Im Chun-soo said, and the fuck are you guys all staring at? You think staying quiet is the right choice here? Lee said, no, sir. Park said, we apologize, sir. Team Leader 1 said to himself, but he's also an experienced mentor who is willing to guide others on all aspects of life. He's someone who deserves the utmost respect. Guildmaster, I will continue to follow you for the rest of my life. Huh? Why is there dirt on his back? I guess he went all out teaching those young kids? Im Chun-soo said, in any case, you all better prepare yourselves once we get back to our guild. A few moments later, in Kim Hwa-jung's car, Jin Tae-kyung silently observed Kim Hwa-jung's driving and sweated. He was remembering earlier when Kim Hwa-jung kicked Im Chun-soo's shins. Kim Hwa-jung said, who the hell uses mana during physical training exercises? Im Chun-soo trembled. Ack! Kim Hwa-jung yelled, line up, eyes to the front. Line up, eyes to the front. Line up, eyes to the front. Get down on all fours. On your back, all fours. Back. Why the fuck were you tormenting your junior? How many times do I have to tell you? Seniors should always help out their juniors. We'll be doing 8 rounds of 100 training exercises. Understood? Im Chun-soo said, you understood, sir. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself to think he used to be a 3-star instructor at the Hunters Association. Then, does that mean all of the hunters back then were trained by Butler Kim? He also has to be an A-rank hunter since he was able to single-handedly subdue the Sangdong Guild's master. I'm confused. If he's really that accomplished, then why the fuck is he playing around as a butler? Kim Hwa-jung smirked and said, it seems you're full of questions. Jin Tae-kyung replied, if I'm being honest. Kim Hwa-jung said, yes. Jin Tae-kyung said, yes, I am. Kim Hwa-jung grinned. It's a long story, you know. Jin Tae-kyung said, that's fine. I'm currently on break. I have lots of time to spare. Kim Hwa-jung said, oh, then I guess this will be the perfect time for you to tell me about yourself as well. There are a lot of things that I'm quite curious about. Jin Tae-kyung said, you can just drop me off over there. Since tomorrow is the last day of my break, there are a few things I still have to DDO. It seems I'll have to sleep a bit early tonight. Ahaha. Kim Hwa-jung said, oh ho, I see. Then I'll see you after your break. Jin Tae-kyung said, thank you for the ride, sheesh. What a D-day. The next morning, Jin Tae-kyung said, as he packed his things. He added, I lived in this apartment for the past 7 years, and all of my belongings can fit inside a single box. But the capsule. Since I unlocked the logout feature, I don't really need to be inside the capsule to go back to the Murim world. I still can't throw this out. To think this old capsule would change my life. If Jin Ho-hyung didn't snore that night, I wonder if I would have ever gone inside this thing. Song Jin-ho suddenly came in and said, you leaving? Jin Tae-kyung looked behind and said, yep. Song Jin-ho asked, you made your initial deposit? Have you signed your contract as well? Jin Tae-kyung replied, I'm leaving because I did all of that. Song Jin-ho said, Nana, you really want to leave that fast. What about your family? Did you guys already move into the new place? Jin Tae-kyung said, not yet. I still haven't told them. I'm going to move in first and then bring them over after my sister finishes her exam. Song Jin-ho said, makes sense. It's the most important time of her life right now. And the small room became silent as they looked at each other. Jin Tae-kyung said, bro. Song Jin-ho blushed and quickly responded, yo, stop, don't say it. Don't you dare try and get sappy with me, because I'm leaving today as well. Jin Tae-kyung, surprised, said, wait, really? Where are you going? Song Jin-ho replied, I'm just going to crash at a buddy's place. Where was the place that you moved to again? Song Jin-ho asked. Jin Tae-kyung answered, Goyang District. It's like 30 minutes away from here. Song Jin-ho said, Goyang District? That's where I'll be staying as well. Jin Tae-kyung's face lit up. Seriously? Then I guess I'll still be seeing you around. Why don't you tell me your address and I'll... Suddenly, Jin Tae-kyung's phone rang. Jin Tae-kyung said, one sec. He went outside holding his phone. Yes. Oh, you guys are already here? My luggage? No, it's fine. I can bring it down myself. Yep, that's right. Sounds good. As Song Jin-ho watched Jin Tae-kyung suddenly said, yo, bro, I'll take the capsule down. Do you think you can take my luggage? And before he could finish, Song Jin-ho vanished. Jin Tae-kyung muttered, "God damn, he really left like that. What a sly bastard. Always fast on the uptake," he added, shaking his head. A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung, with his single box and virtual reality capsule, made his way to his new place. The delivery guys were clearly struggling with the weight of the capsule. The delivery boy, sweating and tired, said, "Huff, why is this so damn heavy?" His friend on the ground, also sweating, panted, "Seriously, I almost shat myself from lifting that thing." Jin Tae-kyung casually looked outside, unbothered. A few moments later, the delivery guys left, and Jin Tae-kyung sat down on the couch, exhausted. He looked up at the ceiling and murmured to himself, "Dad, I bought a house. The place we lived in the past is now gone. But this place isn't bad, right?" Jin Tae-kyung immediately began snoring. Hours passed, and as he woke up, he yawned, reaching for his phone. He said, "I guess my vacation comes to an end after midnight." He put down his phone and thought to himself, "Then I guess I should probably head back before things get busy." He spoke aloud, "Login." A system notification popped up, "Would you like to enter the world of Murim? Yes or no?" Jin Tae-kyung said yes. As Jin Tae-kyung rested on the couch, the virtual reality capsule moved and opened. Suddenly, Song Jin-ho appeared, adjusting his glasses and saying, "I guess this will be my new nest inside the Murim world." Jin Tae-kyung was struck on the head. He exclaimed, "What the hell happened? What did you do to me while I was asleep?" Jin Moo-kyung responded, "While I was asleep? What do you mean by that? Weren't you circulating your chi?" Jin Tae-kyung stood up, still confused. That's right, chi circulation. Why did you hit someone who was circulating their chi?" Jin Moo-kyung, unfazed, said, "A Murim warrior should always be focused on training and self-improvement. That's why when I saw you sleeping without a care in the world, it was so fucking pathetic that I couldn't help but slap your head." Jin Tae-kyung, furious, retorted, "What the fuck? The same goes for you then. What kind of a Murim warrior cowardly strikes the head of a defenseless person?" Jin Moo-kyung smirked. "Then do you want to get off right now and have a chivalrous fight?" Jin Tae-kyung responded, "Ha! How childish. Our mission should always come first." Outside, Hyuk-moo Jin thought to himself, "I know they're brothers and all, but how are they so damn similar to one another? That rotten personality of theirs." A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "Open quest log." A system notification sounded, "Ding! Quest. Yesterday's enemy is today's friend." Now that the truth has been revealed, the Mount Heng Sword sect are no longer your foes, but rather an important ally you must become acquainted with. Before the next summit, make sure to bring them over to the Jin family of Taiwan. Rank and first-rate objective, deliver the invitation letter, incomplete quest reward. Quest failure, no penalty, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself. Mount Heng Sword sect. He remembered Weepeng's words, "Is it true that you tried to rape the daughter of the Mount Heng Sword sect?" Jin Tae-kyung thought again, "I know I've already proved my innocence and all, but the humiliation I suffered back then was beyond measurable. The one who tried to frame me and start a war with the Jin family of Taiwan was Lee Seogon, but he ended up being assassinated on his way back home. And that's what started all of this shit, even though it's only been a few months. The useless third son of the Jin family of Taiwan rose to become the sleeping dragon of Shangxi, and Lee Seo-wol, whom I've never met before, became the new leader of the Mount Heng Sword sect. When I deliver this letter of invitation, which is more akin to a letter of submission, I wonder what kind of reaction Lee Seo-wol will have. I really hope they don't just murder me on the spot." Outside, Hyuk-moo Jink knocked and said, "Young masters, we've arrived at the province of Hunyuan." A few moments later, in the busy streets at night, they entered a restaurant. People chatted casually inside. Suddenly, while Jin Tae-kyung was eating, a bottle was thrown at him. Hyuk-moo Jin covered his face, and Jin Moo-kyung did the same from the shards. The others, shocked, asked, What happened?" A man from a distance said, "Oops, I guess my hand slipped." As liquid dripped from Jin Tae-kyung's face, he suddenly looked at the men with killer eyes and said, "The fuck do you guys want?" A mustached man smirked and said, "Oh no, dear senior brother, we're so sorry about that." His balding friend, grinning, added, "What are you getting mad for? My hand just slipped. We can just order more food for you." Ha, ha, ha. Or maybe that's a bad idea, since you were stuffing your face with food up until now. Ah ha ha. Jin Tae-kyung wiped the liquid from his face, frustration building. To himself, he muttered, All right. Let's first calm down and try to settle this as reasonably as I can. There's no need for me to cause a scene at this shithole of a place. And there's an old saying that even a dog is smart enough to know not to mess with someone when they're eating. So if any of you bastards have a fucking brain, you better apologize and order more food right now. If you can do that." But before he could finish, A man with yellow teeth walked toward him, grinning maliciously. "Oh ho, you have a sharp tongue for someone so young." Jin Tae-kyung sighed, trying to keep his cool. "Then I'll overlook this as an accident and move," the ugly man smirked. "Hey kid, stick out your tongue, I'll fucking pull it out of you." Jin Tae-kyung had enough. In a flash, he punched the man's chin, causing him to bite his own tongue and break a few loose teeth, sending him flying back into his friends. Jin Tae-kyung stood up, disgusted. "Ah, fuck, your breath smells like shit. Brush your filthy teeth for once, you shitty bastards." His friends shouted, enraged. "He attacked Guangsu! You fucking bastard! Kill him!" In another scene, a lady with a pipe removed the burnt leaves and exhaled. "A loud commotion," she said with a smile. A servant spoke outside. "It seems a fight has broken out between a Murim warrior and 6 members of the Crimson Wind clan." She smirked, taking another puff. "Is that so? Which faction is this warrior from?" The servant answered, "He's the sleeping dragon of Shaanxi, my lady." Her eyes widened. "Oh my, what a pleasant surprise. Then I suppose it's only fair that I go and greet him." Outside, a Crimson Wind clan member collapsed to the ground, bloodied. Jin Tae-kyung muttered to himself, "These bastards are used to killing people. Not only did they pick a fight, but there was no hesitation in them drawing weapons." He added, "And not to mention, their bodies reek of blood." Suddenly, the remaining members of the Crimson Wind clan charged at him, grinning wickedly. "We're the Reapers who'll send you to the afterlife." Jin Tae-kyung, unimpressed, dodged their attacks, muttering, "God damn, you guys are cringe as hell." He swiftly punched a bald guy in the gut, snatching one of their weapons, and punched another in the face, sending them to the ground. The others charged at him, shouting, "You bastard!" One of them, seemingly the most skilled, launched slashes at Jin Tae-kyung. As Jin Tae-kyung evaded, he thought, "I guess he's the most skilled out of them all, since it looks like he's learned some sort of martial arts." With a shout, Jin Tae-kyung swiftly chopped the man's throat. The man, gasping in pain, choked out, "Urgh!" One of his comrades, trembling in fear, shouted. Our troop leader was taken out with one strike. The man quickly spoke up, sweating, "Hold on, young master. It seems we've made a grave mistake. We'll make sure to sincerely apologize and reflect on our—" Jin Tae-kyung cut him off. Too late. Behind him, Hyukmu Jin had snuck up, stool in hand, and smashed it over one of the Crimson Wind clan members. Hyukmu Jin, like a creep, undressed the mob member, looking at their branding. "Wait, young master, take a look at this. Isn't this pretty suspicious?" "What the hell are those, horse tattoos?" Jin Tae-kyung asked, confused. He thought to himself, Then that means they're not just some ragtag group of thugs. It means they're members of an organization or a G group. If I'm not mistaken, he said troop leader, right? Are they martial warriors associated with a sect? He paused. Nah, that can't be it. The strength of their force is too low for that. Horse tattoos. He muttered, Horse clan? Just then a voice interrupted his thoughts. In the northern plateau region, there are over a dozen different horse tribes. Jin Tae-kyung turned, shocked. Wait, that voice. As he looked behind him, he saw Jin Moo-kyung sipping his cold tea. Hyukmu Jin looked as well, and standing there, a woman smirked. It's been a while, my dear young master. Wo-wo-wa? Jin Tae-kyung stammered, recognizing her immediately. A few moments later, Wo-hwa poured a fresh cup of stale water, sitting down across from him. She smiled and asked, Are you on your way to the Mount Hing sword sect? Jin Tae-kyung nodded. Yes, that's correct. She asked, Could you tell me what your objective is? Jin Tae-kyung raised an eyebrow. You're the best informant in all of Shaanxi, so why are you asking me this question? You should already know the answer to that, right? Wo-hwa gave a teasing smile. I was hoping Master Jin would tell it to me personally. My feelings have been hurt. Jin Tae-kyung sighed. I strictly keep my business and personal affairs separate from one another. She smirked. You're a cold-hearted man. Then would it be all right if I make a suggestion? I suppose one could also interpret this as a negotiation of some sort. Jin Tae-kyung raised an eyebrow. I'll make my decision after hearing what you have to say. She leaned in, her eyes glinting. Take me with you to the Mount Hang sword sect. Jin Tae-kyung, confused and taken aback, said, Excuse me? Why the hell do you want to come along? Wo-hwa's grin widened. I don't think I'm obliged to tell you that, and that's because I also keep my business and personal affairs strictly separate from one another. Kidding. It just so happens that there are things that I must retrieve from the Mount Hang sword sect. Well, if I had to be more precise. They're things that the Jin family of Taiyuan had already arranged to give me beforehand. Jin Tae-kyung said, What do you? He remembered Wo-hwa saying to them before, Half of the Mount Hang sword sect stores and merchandise. Jin Tae-kyung said, Wo-hwa replied, I'm sure you're already aware of this, but as things stand, we're currently in a difficult situation. Although we emerged as the victors of the previous war, due to the truth regarding the Great Elder's plan, we were unable to collect our side of the bargain. Jin Tae-kyung said, but if the Mount Heng Sword Sect accepts our conditions stated within the letter I'm delivering, I'm sure you can ask for all of this then, no? Wolhwa explained. However, that's riding on the fact that the Jin family of Taiyuan becomes the unified leader of the province of Shaanxi. There's also the fact that we're assuming the lesser family head is able to accept a suitable condition in order to provide us with the adequate products and districts as well. That's why. Wouldn't it be better for us to directly meet with the district leaders ourselves? Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself. The Mount Heng Sword Sect that governed the northern regions with an iron fist is currently falling apart. That's why Wolchobla is trying to take advantage of this opportunity to further grow the lower district sect's influence over the northern parts of Shaanxi. And I'm sure Jin Wei-kyung strongly desires for the Jin family of Taiyuan to be the sole proprietor over the entirety of Shaanxi. Then I guess that means yesterday's friend is now our rival. Wolhwa said. And so that's my reason as to why I decided to greet our cute young master and accompany him to the Mount Heng Sword Sect. What are your thoughts? Jin Tae-kyung replied, I decline your offer. Wolhwa sweated and said, wow, don't you think you're being a little stern here? To think you'd cut me off like that without even trying to negotiate anything. Jin Tae-kyung responded, just because we've become friends doesn't mean I'm going to taint the works of my brother. Wolhwa huffed. Then slamming her pipe on the table, she added, then so be it. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, wait, that's it? I thought for sure she'd try to persuade me more. Is she really going to give up just like that? He stood up and said, all right, then if that's all you have to say. Wolhwa interjected, that's right. If I remember correctly, I believe you guys are planning to stay the night at this tavern, correct? Jin Tae-kyung shade, yes, that's right. Why do you ask? Wolhwa replied, then do you think you can deliver this message to your second brother? The old pine trees behind us are quite expensive, so it would be best for him to be a little bit careful during his training sessions. Jin Tae-kyung silently thought, all right. Wolhwa added, okay, if you need anything else, feel free to ask. Since it's our cute young master, I'll make sure to heed all of your demands. A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung sweated in fear as Jin Muk-young sheathed his sword. Looking at the cut trees, Jin Muk-young remarked, there's something about these trees that makes it fun to cut them down. Jin Tae-kyung, angry, shouted under the moonlight, you freaking dumbass! The very next day, since we were unable to afford the price of cutting down the old pine trees, we had no choice but to ask for Wolhwa's assistance. Because of this reason, Wolhwa was allowed to accompany us on our journey to the Mount Heng Sword Sect. Jin Muk-young exclaimed, what the hell are you thinking, bringing a woman on an important family mission? Wolhwa retorted, and who was the one that cut down the goddamn pine trees? I'll be in your care. Master Jin's Hyuk-mu-jin said, I knew it. We're all born with various talents. I might be pretty decent with the blade, but I'm completely hopeless when it comes to drawing carriages. Now that an expert coachman is steering the horses, our ride feels so much smoother than before. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, this fucking idiot. Since Wolhwa is riding with us, of course I'd find someone who's more suitable than you at drawing carriages. He said, Mu-jin. Hyuk-mu-jin replied, Kwon Chun-sam, the carriage boy, was nearby. Jin Tae-kyung said, you should learn to be quiet. If you can master that, then you'll have a high chance of living longer. Hyuk-mu-jin grumbled, well, it's because you guys are always nagging me. Mutter. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, why the fuck has he been acting like that the whole time? Meanwhile, Jin Muk-young sat in a corner, sweating silently. Wolhwa said, Master Jin, you look quite uncomfortable sitting in that corner. Why don't you come closer? There's plenty of space for the two of us. Jin Muk-young replied, I'm fine. Jin Tae-kyung mused, you don't look okay though. You hurt somewhere? Jin Muk-young snapped, no, I'm feeling completely fine. Stop talking to me. Jin Tae-kyung and Hyuk-mu-jin exchanged glances. Jin Tae-kyung said, there's something strange about him, right? Hyuk-mu-jin replied, strange wouldn't even describe what I'm seeing, sir. If I had to be honest with you, I think the second young master has developed some sort of feelings, Jin Muk-young, angry, said. Shut the fuck up, you shitty. Wolhwa interjected, oh my. I apologize in advance. It seems I haven't formally introduced myself. I'm the branch leader of the lower district sect in the province of Shaanxi. You can call me Wolhwa. Jin Muk-young replied, I'm Jin Muk-young from the Jin family of Taiyuan, as he hid his face. Wolhwa remarked, what a dull response. The third young master nearly had a heart attack when he learned the truth about my status. Jin Muk-young responded, it's because I was already informed beforehand. I heard from my younger brother that you have accomplished great deeds for the main family. Cough, cough. Although it's late, I would like to offer my gratitude. Wolhua replied, there's no need to be so formal here. It was all part of our negotiation. However, I have yet to be compensated. As Jin Taekyung and Hyukmujin were shocked, looking at Jin Mukyung said, the main family shall never forget the benevolence of the lower district sect. Hyukmujin stood up and said, oh, the bashful young warrior and the young beauty. He looked at Jin Taekyung and added, just the sound of that would make anyone's heart flutter, or am I wrong? Jin Taekyung looked away sweating and said, I don't know what you're talking about. Jin Mukyung glared at Jin Taekyung with laser focus. Jin Taekyung thought to himself, I guess your heart won't be fluttering for too long either. A few moments later, at night, Jin Taekyung said, since it's late, let's set up camp here. Wolhua said to Jin Taekyung, this shrine has been abandoned for quite some time due to a large famine that happened several decades ago. But since there are still footsteps around this place, it's safe to assume that people visit here often. Jin Mukyung dragged Hyukmujin saying, get your ass over here. Hyukmujin said, leader. Kwanchun Sam carried the futons and said, allow me to get your bed space ready. A few moments later, the bonfire was lit. Jin Taekyung said, that's right. What happened to those bastards back at the tavern? Wolhua replied, if you're talking about the Crimson Wind Clan, I've already detained them. Jin Taekyung asked, Crimson Wind Clan? Wolhua said, they're a rising star from the plateau region. Not only are they a large and well-structured group, their leader's martial art is considered to be extremely powerful as well. Jin Taekyung remarked, the Northern Plateau, it should be pretty far from the province of Hunyuan. Northern Plateau, Mount Heng, Kunyuan, Taiyuan. So why are they this far south? Wolhua explained, since Li Chanbake was desperate, he ended up recruiting vagabonds and warriors from all sorts of tribes. Although quite a lot of them died in the battle that took place in the 8th Heavenly Valley, most of their main forces survived and were able to escape. Jin Taekyung asked, and amongst those survivors were the Crimson Wind Clan? Wolhua replied, no. The Crimson Wind Clan didn't even participate in the battle. The leader of the Crimson Wind Clan decided to observe from afar, and after hearing the results, decided to withdraw from the fight, along with 200 of his men. They ended up heading north and tried to take over the Mount Heng Sword sect for themselves since it was still left unguarded. But as you already know, the Mount Heng Sword sect was able to successfully defend themselves from this attack, but their lesser family head died as a result. Jin Taekyung thought to himself, if the Crimson Wind Clan had participated in the 8th Heavenly Valley, what would have happened to us? I'm pretty sure we would have lost that battle. It might have been unfortunate for the Mount Heng Sword sect, but I suppose it was a huge blessing for us. Wolhua said, the ones who attacked you at the tavern might have been the horsemen that fled from the battle at Mount Heng Sword sect. Even though the Crimson Wind Clan is well organized, they're still susceptible to deserters. However, I'm still unsure what those people were doing in the province of Hunyuan. Jin Taekyung said, deserters. Wolhua continued, it's because of these events that this current region is in such disarray. Bandits, vagabonds, horsemen, and even the black assassins are starting to show up around here, since the Mount Heng Sword sect's powers have vastly diminished. However, it's also thanks to them that the Mount Heng Sword sect will have no choice but to accept the Jin family of Taiyuan's conditions. Jin Taekyung said, hey, I have a question. Do people normally come to this shrine around this hour? As Jin Taekyung looked in the distance, a man shouted, hurry and move, you bastards. A weak man cried, ack. His friend said, we're coming, sir. Please be easy on us. Lee Sam stepped on the captured men and shouted, ha, be easy. Looks like these bastards still don't have a good grasp of their situation. His friend said, oi, enough. We can't spoil our goods by breaking their bones. They're already small to begin with, so we probably won't even make too much profit from. They saw Jin Taekyung and Wolhua standing at a distance. One man asked, what the hell is that over there? Who are you guys? Jin Taekyung replied, passing travelers. Lee Sam, confused, said, travelers? He looked at Wolhua and added, travelers, you say? It's pretty dangerous to be traveling around this place during this tea time. Well, in any case, we've been using this shrine as our hideout for the past few days, but it seems we're in a dilemma, no? Jin Taekyung, the fuck you mean by that? Lee Sam said. It's not like we're charitable people. We can't just easily give up our spots to you guys. Your words have been pretty disrespectful for some time. Jin Taekyung said, you're making it sound like you own this shrine. Lee Sam said, if something is abandoned, shouldn't it be finders keepers? Jin Taekyung replied, then why don't you show me your proof of purchase and claim to this place? Lee Sam was confused and said, huh? His friend asked, what does that even mean? Another friend said, What did he just say? Jin Tae-kyung said, if you can't prove that you own this place, then turn around and leave. Make sure to release those captives as well. Lee Sam and his group drew their swords and said, you're crossing the line, young boy. You might know a thing or two about fighting. However, it seems you're looking down on the world of Murim too much. Jin Tae-kyung replied, hell no, I would never look down on the world of Murim. It's just that you guys are nothing more than piss trash. Lee Sam became furious. As Jin Tae-kyung looked at them, the captive suddenly shouted, huh? Wait, great lord, it's us. Please save us, great lord. Lee Sam asked, you know these bastards? His friend stepped on a captive and said, have you guys lost your minds? Hurry up and shut your mouths. Jin Tae-kyung said, nope, I don't know who they are. It's my first time seeing them. Lee Sam said, but they look like they know you though. One of the captives cried out, ugh, Hoff, please save us, great lord. Jin Tae-kyung said, they're just trying to make me save. Wait, aren't you guys the followers of that T-1000 strength guy from back then? The 5 great fuckers. It was something like that, right? The captive crying said, yes, that's us. After that day, we have never stolen from others again. We made sure to live an earnest life. It's not the 5 great fuckers, but the 5 great brothers. Please save us, great lord. Jin Tae-kyung laughed, ah ha ha, to think I'd be seeing you bastards at this place. Wohwa asked, do you know them? Are you going to save them? Jin Tae-kyung replied, nah, my intentions were never to save or rescue anyone. I just wanted to. They're bandits, Lee Sam said. Ah, so you do know them, good. Looks like you guys won't be lonely on your journey with us. Tie them up. We'll sell the bastard to a slave merchant and the girl to a brothel. If he resists, feel free to kill him. Wola pretended and acted saying, Kya, I'm so scared. What should I do? This young lady is so thousand scared right now, as she held the firm muscles of Jin Tae-kyung. Lee Sam said, don't be too scared. Even though I might lead a rough life, my heart is as soft as silk. I am a real man. I'll make sure to convey those feelings to you with our bodies later. Jin Tae-kyung said, I guess I'll have to rip off his dick so he doesn't say shit like that again. He waved off Wohwa's hands as she said, Kia, you have to promise that you'll protect me, okay? Jin Tae-kyung stepped forward. Lee Sam said, why are you hesitating? What are you scared of? His friend laughed, ah ha ha ha, eh, 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 eh. Jin Tae-kyung said, you're fucked now. Lee Sam asked, you got a bodyguard or something like? Suddenly, Jin Mook-young moved quickly in front of him, touched his body and said, say that shit again, you bastard. Lee Sam sweated as Jin Mook-young pushed him, making his shirt shred. His friend trembled in fear and pissed his pants. He said, sweating, WWE. Surrender, please don't kill us. Jin Mook-young burst with a dark aura. Lee Sam's friend said, please spare our lives. Lee Sam trembled in pain, bubbles coming out of his mouth as he groaned, ugh. Jin Mook-young stared down on them, then turned away, saying, Hyukmu Jin, beaten up and crying, said, I should be thankful that he only hit me this much. A few moments later, the bandits were released. They said, thank you, great lord. You will always be our savior for the rest of our lives. Jin Tae-kyung said, I don't care about that shit. In any case, how the hell did all 5 of you guys end up getting captured by these bastards? One bandit said, well, that's... His friend added, we had no idea they were from the horse tribe and tried to snatch some money from them. Ah, oops. Jin Tae-kyung said, what? The bandit said, well, you see, we tried really hard to live an honest life, but nothing was working out. We only recently started going back to our old ways. Please just forgive us this once. We promise not to do it again. We'll make sure to live an honest life. Jin Tae-kyung said, who cares? But who did you say those bastards were? A bandit said, are you perhaps referring to the people from the horse tribe? Jin Tae-kyung said, yes, exactly. The bandit said, we only found out about this after we got caught. The only reason they caught our attention was because they were a rowdy group of warriors throwing money left and right inside a brothel. So we decided to trail them. But then, who would have thought that these guys were from the notorious horse tribe within all of the northern regions? The Crimson Wind Clan. Jin Tae-kyung said, Crimson Wind Clan, are you sure about that? The bandit replied, yes, that's what we clearly heard. Right, guys, a bald bandit said, we also heard that they were planning to leave their area at sunrise. The fat bandit said they were worried about something, since they said they'll have to ride without rest for a whole day to get to Shanyin, because otherwise, they would be late to their destination and lose their prize. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, if it's Shanyin, then it's close to the Fogong Temple, which is near the main branch of the Mount Hang sword sect. Wait, it can't be BE. They all looked up and saw a messenger bird. WWO opened the message and said, "The Crimson Wind Clan has passed the plateaus and is heading south. They have approximately 200 forces." Jin Tae-kyung said, "Looks like they are planning to attack the Mount Hang Sword sect again." Wohwa replied, "Yes, there's no doubt about that. Since this report was sent about a day ago, it means they've already gotten closer than before. Unfortunately, our organization isn't very well established in the northern regions, which is why it'll be quite difficult for us to properly track and convey information regarding the Crimson Wind Clan's movements. However, it seems fortune is on our side. We can at least glean some information from these guys and adjust our plans accordingly, though I'm not quite sure just how useful they will be to us." "You," the man said. "And me?" Wohwa said, "Get up." He protested, "This is a mistake. I'm not part of the horse tribe. I've been a vagabond all my life. I only joined them because the pay was pretty decent." Wohwa said, "Oh, I see. Then you guys are the vagabonds that the Crimson Wind Clan recruited during their last attack on the Mount Hang Sword sect," he said. "That's correct. But we'll still try our best to tell you everything we know about them." Wohwa replied, "No, that's okay. I'm sure you guys won't provide any useful information to us. Isn't that right, Chun Sam?" The man was then confused as Kwon Chun Sam walked towards him suddenly and stabbed him. Jin Tae-kyung, Jin Moo-kyung, Hyuk Moo-jin, and the bandits were shocked. As Kwon Chun Sam took out his dagger, the man dropped to the ground. Wohwa pointed at another vagabond and said, "You." The man trembled in fear and said, Please spare my life. I'll tell you everything. I've been a member of the Crimson Wind Clan for about a year." Suddenly, Kwon Chun Sam cut his throat, and Wohwa said, "Chun Sam." The vagabond cried out in pain, "Ack," as his friends looked at them in fear. Wohwa said, "Just keep two things in mind. Answer when asked, and answer nothing but the truth." They all went silent, sweating in fear. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "With that, we were able to obtain all information regarding the Crimson Wind Clan in a few minutes." A few moments later, the horses traveled. A man said, "We finished, clan leader. All the men are dead, and all the women and children have been gathered in one spot." The clan leader asked, "Why?" The man replied, "Are we not going to take them back home?" And the clan leader said, "Which tribe are you from?" The man answered, The Earthen Tiger tribe, sir." The clan leader said, "I'm not sure how the Earthen Tiger tribe handled things, but that's not how we do things here at the Crimson Wind Clan. Upholding traditions and honoring our culture are all trivial things. We could care less about them." The man sweated and said, I see. I apologize for not," the clan leader said. "Go back and tell them this. There will be no hostages. Kill them all and burn everything down." The man said, "All right, as you wish, clan leader." He looked at the city as it began to burn. The fire spread quickly. The clan leader looked at the flames as the Mount Hang Sword sect's main branch burned, and its sign fell. The clan leader grinned as Wohwa grinned. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "Since she's usually pretty aloof and carefree about everything, I completely forgot." Wohwa said, "Oops, when did I get blood here?" As she wiped off the blood from her cheeks, Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "Not only is she a skilled fighter, but an experienced one at that as well." Wohwa looked at Jin Tae-kyung and said, "Was I too violent for your taste?" Jin Tae-kyung replied, Maybe a little. But your method was quite effective." Wohwa said, "Please don't misunderstand, Master Jin. I do not take pleasure in taking the lives of others." Kwon Chun Sam said, "Yes, ma'am." The bald bandit hit the vagabond's head and said, "Put your head down." Wohwa said, "But to be fair, they are a villainous group of, God damn it, I can't wipe off that bastard's blood from my face." Jin Moo-kyung suddenly handed over his cloth and said, Please use this." Wohwa said, "Oh my." Jin Moo-kyung smelled his dirty finger and said, I only gave it to you because you looked like you needed it." Hyuk Moo-jin said, What the freak?" Wohwa said, "Thank you so much, Master Jin. You're absolutely correct. I do need this handkerchief." Jin Moo-kyung said, "It's nothing much." Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, he's the type that's only nice to girls. There's at least one bastard like him everywhere you go. In the morning, Wohwa said, "The Crimson Wind Clan is most likely half a day away from the Mount Hang Sword sect. As for us, we have about a day and a half ahead of us. However, since our route is pretty even and well-maintained, if we ride without any stops, we should be able to close that distance." Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "I guess she doesn't want us to rest." Sigh. It's been a non-stop chain of events ever since I came back to this place last night. Wasn't this quest supposed to be simple and easy? A system notification chimed, "Ding. Quest difficulty has been changed from first rate to peak." Jin Tae-kyung muttered to himself, "I fucking knew it." Of course, it wouldn't be that simple. At the Mount Hang Sword sect, A leader was shocked and said, "What? An annihilation? Those guys must have taken a big hit from last time. How could they recover so quickly?" A soldier replied, "It seems they used the magic pill. At least 200 people were there." The elders were shocked and asked, "Then when will they actually arrive?" The soldier answered, "We predict they'll start the attack in a day or two." One elder cursed, "This damned." Another said, "It's over for us. The Mount Heng sword sect is stuck. What's the point of getting a promotion now when the clan is like this?" Another remarked, "Even if we leave them alone, they'll come here and make a mess." A fourth elder said, "If we gather the remaining people, will there even be 100 left? Damn it, if only the master was here." One elder added, "To have a young girl who hasn't even signed a contract be served as a guest." Suddenly, the doors burst open. A man, raging with aura, stormed in. "Who was the person talking bullshit earlier?" he demanded. The master said there are 2 wild beasts residing in Mount Heng, Hyolangjom and Hang Sanho. They were close friends who overcame many challenges together. Cho Mubayak was already a master known as the Tiger of Mount Heng for decades, someone added. Warrior Chiol shouted, "I asked who it was." One elder stammered, Warrior Chiol, this is a misunderstanding." Another said, "How could we dare release our anger?" A bald elder said, "Warrior, we hope to settle this." They muttered to themselves, "Heat of the sun. This crazy bastard. What pill did he take to have this unstoppable power?" Suddenly, Lee Sewol stepped forward, holding Warrior Chiol's shirt. "Uncle Chiol Mubayak, it's hot," she said calmly. Warrior Chiol turned and said, I was so carried away that I didn't think of you. Is it too hot?" Lee Sewol smiled. "I am okay, Uncle Chiol Mubayak." The elders bowed, saying, "Young lady, we greet the young lady." Warrior Chiol looked at them in anger and grumbled, "These bastards are still." Lee Sewol waved at them and said, "I'll say this once more for your sake. Change my title. Call me master, not young lady." A system notification chimed again. Character info, level 55 Jin Tae-kyung job, first-rate soldier fame, 1,300 plus 150 titles, 4 applying title effect strength, 196 plus 25 agility, 192 plus 25 charisma, 35 plus 25 durability, 155 plus 25 intellect, 35 plus 25 effort, 15 years available points. 0 precious person, all stats plus in, Shangzi dragon, all stats plus in, fame plus 100, renown of fame, all stats plus in, fame plus 100, beginner trainee, training speed plus 10% winner in a 1v1 battle, all stats plus 10%. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "Kyeh, I've definitely gotten stronger with this. No matter how difficult the quest, I should be able to keep myself alive." Charisma, 35 plus 25 intellect, 35 plus 25. After this quest, should I try focusing on some non-combative stats too? Hyuk Mujin groaned, "Ow, my butt hurts. If I knew this was going to happen, I would have been born a coachman's son." Jin Tae-kyung asked, "Is it difficult?" He thought to himself. Then again, this guy falls behind in the group, so he would have to work harder to keep up. Hyuk Mujin replied, "Honestly, it's quite difficult. But strangely, I feel more excited compared to the last reconnaissance mission." Jin Tae-kyung asked, "Really?" Hyuk Mujin nodded. "Yes, I've run a lot more compared to last time, but I'm not tired at all." Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, "Oh, this guy. It seems he's leveled up a little." Hyuk Mujin said, "Is it because I've gotten used to riding a horse?" Jin Tae-kyung thought, "Shall we see how much he's grown?" A system notification chimed. Ding. Level 38 Hyuk Mujin. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, huh? When did it increase so much? When we first met, he was at level 20. Another system notification appeared. Level 20 Hyuk Mujin. Hyuk Mujin exclaimed, "You!" Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, he's almost doubled his level in 2 months? Perhaps. Did he get influenced by the system because he traveled with me? If so, does he receive stat points like me? A system notification chimed, available points, 180, Jin Tae-kyung. Thought to himself, how would he distribute points? Does someone else have to distribute the points for him? It's a plausible theory. It's worth trying. Jin Tae-kyung touched Hyuk Mujin's shoulder and opened the status window. They both felt awkward. Hyuk Mujin said, "What? Is there something on my face?" Jin Tae-kyung replied, "No, you're just ugly." Hyuk Mujin grumbled, seriously." Jin Tae-kyung muttered to himself, "Nothing happened? I thought it would work. Should I try saying it out loud?" Jin Tae-kyung spoke. Status window, open. A system notification chimed, ding. Jin Tae-kyung was shocked. He said, "Yeah, it worked." The system notification said, "A time limit has been added to the quest requirements." Another system notification appeared, ding, arrive at Hongsan Jeonmun in 22 hours. If you are late, you will fail the quest. Jin Mukyung groaned. He's doing it again. Wolhwa asked, Lord Jin, are you okay? Hyukmujin sighed. Seriously, what are you acting like this for? Jin Taekyung muttered to himself, seriously, why are you doing this to me? In a memory of Lee Sewol, Lee Chanbaek asked, are you really okay? Lee Sewol replied, will you change your mind if I say no? Lee Chanbaek responded, at least I would find a different method rather than making you marry the third son of the Taehyun family. Lee Sewol replied, a war with the Taehyun family is guaranteed to happen. Lee Chanbaek said, and now, without the Sanseogwe organization and the Jinshin sword, it is the perfect time. It's a chance that won't come again. Lee Sewol said, even without the family head and Lord Lee, the Taehyun family is still strong. Please reconsider. Lee Chanbaek said firmly, impossible, the decision's already been made. Lee Sewol said, then please win. Become so strong that you won't ever need to speak a word of the scandal. Lee Chanbaek grunted, had you been a man, you would have become the family head. Lee Sewol replied calmly, then it's a relief I was born a woman, since I have no interest in becoming the main family's head. In the present, Lee Sewol stood before the grave of Lee Chanbaek, the wind blowing gently. She whispered to herself, whose fault is it? I should have persuaded him against it. Now I'm alone. Suddenly, Uncle Chil Mubarak placed a hand on her shoulder. He said, I should have arrived earlier. Lee Sewol replied, Uncle Chil Mubarak, please don't say such things. If you hadn't come, the family wouldn't have survived till now. Uncle Chil Mubarak said, I will definitely tear that bastard Pyang's body apart. Lee Sewol said, I believe in you, Uncle Chil Mubarak. However, you cannot look down on Lord Juk Pung. There's no guarantee he'll fight fairly. Uncle Chil Mubarak nodded. All right, I'll keep that in mind. A few moments later, Uncle Chil Mubarak asked, do you have a prediction on the rate of success? Lee Sewol replied, if it's now. Uncle Chil Mubarak was shocked. What? Lee Sewol said, however, if the reinforcements arrive, 50%. It's about that much. Uncle Chil Mubarak asked, reinforcements? Perhaps from the Taehyun family? Lee Sewol replied, 2 hours ago, a carrier pigeon, which was sent from the home and rest area, arrived. Uncle Chil Mubarak asked, how many did they send? 100? 200? Lee Sewol answered, 4. Uncle Chil Mubarak was confused. 4? Lee Sewol exhaled deeply and said, among them is Jinshin sword Jin Mukyung, and the other is Shangxi dragon Jin Taekyung. In the town, the people had gathered, crying in fear. A bandit cackled, Kekeke. If you keep quiet, we might spare your lives. Then they heard the sound of a horse approaching. The bandit said, oh my, our next guest has already arrived. Halt. Suddenly, the bandit was trampled by the horse. He screamed in pain. Whack! The horse stopped, and Jin Taekyung dismounted. He asked, I'm asking just in case. You're the Crimson Wind clan, right? A member of the Crimson Wind clan shouted, who are you? Jin Taekyung replied, judging from your reactions, it seems I'm correct. Since I don't have time, let's finish this quickly. The bald bandit shouted, kill him. A system notification appeared, remaining time 16 hours, 25 minutes, 32 seconds. A few moments later, the bandits were all beaten. The bald man trembled. Please, just spare us. We've sinned, please. Hyukmujin said, I think we should use these horses instead. Since there are at least 10 horses, let's take them all and use them one by one until they're all tired. Jin Taekyung thought to himself, anyway, exactly how many people are in the Crimson Wind clan? According to the information we received from the shrine, there are over 100 people. Wolhwa said, last night Chun-sum, take these guys, go to a nearby camp and tell them the situation. Jin Taekyung thought, there are some hiding at the foot of the mountain, some in remote villages, and others in bustling places. They're all going to gather at an assembly point. The Crimson Wind clan leader is heading south to reinforce his soldiers at the plateau. Mount Heng sword sect, the remaining underlings are going north. Since the war situation is turning against them, their ability to make quick retreat decisions while still preparing for the next step is impressive. Plus, I heard the warriors under his command are strong. Crimson Wind clan leader. What kind of mounted bandit behaves like that? I now understand why the quest level changed to peak level. Jin Taekyung said, well, it won't be like, oh, the Crimson Wind clan leader is actually a peak level martial master. It won't be something like that, right? Wolhwa said, it's true though. Jin Taekyung was shocked and said, what? Wolhwa replied, by revealing himself so quickly, he must have a reason. It's not widely known yet, but according to my sex information, the Crimson Wind clan leader is a peak level martial master. Jin Tae-kyung responded, no, why is a peak-level martial master working as a bandit? Wolhwa said, there are transcendent-level martial masters among mountain bandits and pirates, so why can't he do the same? Jin Tae-kyung exclaimed, transcendent-level martial masters? And they're mountain bandits and pirates? Wolhwa explained, if you meet the Green Forest Alliance leader or the Water Route Alliance leader, ask them. Or maybe the Yangtze River, although that won't happen. Jin Tae-kyung said, I really hope it doesn't. As the villagers waved at them, Jin Tae-kyung shouted, ha, giddy up. A system notification appeared. Remaining time 15 hours 59 minutes 13 seconds. A few moments later, someone said, no, what? Pyang said, annihilating the Daedong branch was part of the war. However, if we bother the people right now, we'll give the Taiyuan family a pretext to intervene. His friend scoffed, do they think they're the masters of Shaanxi province or something? Pyang replied, not yet, but in the future they will be. Shouldn't we devour the Mount Heng sword sect before that and force them to submit to us like dogs? His friend hesitated. I'm not doubting you, but would orthodox bastards like the Taiyuan Jin family's partisans ever view mounted bandits like us in a good light? Pyang snapped. Mounted bandits? Who's a mounted bandit? The last time I saw the Mount Heng sword sect leader, she sure looked great. His friend teased, since she's of marriageable age, she should be married off. Bahahoho. Pyang grinned. Annihilation or marriage? They'll have to choose between the two. Pyang then asked, and the Crimson Wind clan? His friend answered, we'll take what's useful and throw the rest away. Let's see, since your face is the best compared to the others, I'll make you the Forest Gate Pavilion leader. Pyang proudly declared, I will give you my undying loyalty. To himself, Pyang thought, after 20 years of living as a mounted bandit, I've finally arrived here. I, who grew up in a beggar's den and learned third-rate martial arts, could never have dreamed of this. From mounted bandit squad leader to the lord of the Crimson Wind clan. Now it is time to take over the sects in the Murim. Suddenly his friend called out, clan leader! Pyang thought about the Mount Heng sword sect. Although last time I retreated with a few losses, this time it will be different. He smiled, thinking about the box in his pouch. They stopped. Pyang declared, today, before the sun sets, I will hold Mount Heng sword sect in my hands. Attack! His bandits charged, and one of them prepared the horn. The bandit blew it with all his lungs. A system notification appeared. You've successfully completed chi circulation. Another system notification said, fatigue and stamina have been recovered. Jin Tae-kyung asked, did you hear something? Wolhwa replied, hear what? Hyuk-mujin answered, of course we did. We heard the horses chewing on hay, the wind. Jin Tae-kyung snapped, not that, you jerk. Hyuk-mujin asked, then what noise? Jin Tae-kyung muttered, so, vuvuzela? Hyuk-mujin, confused, said, Vuvu what? Jin Tae-kyung sighed. The thing you use to cheer at sports. Ah, whatever, there's something like that. Hyuk-mujin, still confused, said, what spores? You're still saying weird stuff. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, did I hear wrong? The direction was also to the north. They said it would take 3 hours to reach Mount Heng sword sect, didn't they? Even if something happened, there's no way I could hear it from here, but I definitely. Jin Mukyung said, you must have heard it wrong. I said you must have heard it wrong. I didn't hear anything. Jin Tae-kyung insisted, no, but I definitely heard something. Jin Mukyung said, there's no way I wouldn't have heard it. Jin Tae-kyung, frustrated but understanding his brother was right, couldn't refute. Jin Mukyung stepped down from his stone and said, if you don't want to die by a sword you didn't see coming, focus on controlling your mind and body. Since you don't know what will happen on the battlefield, and since there are a lot of people on the enemy side, save your energy and keep your movements to a minimum. Of course, I'll take the lead, so if you just follow me, there won't be a problem. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, still, is he worrying about me because we're from the same bloodline? Now that I think about it, despite how much he dislikes me, he's still helped me quite a lot. When you come to know him, he might be a man with a lot of heart. Jin Mukyung, annoyed, said, what are you looking at? Eyes to the ground. If you get hurt by those mounted bandits, know that you'll die by my hands. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, of course. Tsundere, my ass. I was crazy for a moment and lost my sanity. Wolhwa called out, young sirs, we have to ride without rest now, so please prepare thoroughly. Jin Mukyung suddenly smiled and blushed as he said, yes. A system notification appeared. Remaining time 6 hours 25 minutes 19 seconds. Another system notification. Remaining time 6 hours 25 minutes 18 seconds. Another. Remaining time 6 hours 25 minutes 17 seconds. And another. Remaining time 6 hours 25 minutes 16 seconds. A few moments later. In the mountain, the horses lay on the ground forever, and their riders as well. As the bandits climbed the wall, the soldiers shouted, "Block them off! Don't let them get up!" A bandit yelled, "I'll give 20 golden yangs to the first one who gets up there." Suddenly, a ram hit the gate. The bandits prepared for another push. Inside, the soldiers cried out, "Sect leader, the castle gate is at risk." Another soldier said, "We need reinforcements." "Lord, sect leader, make a decision, quick." Lee Se-wol trembled. She thought to herself, so this is Murim. Lee Se-wol ordered, "When I give the signal, fire flaming arrows toward the castle walls." An archer responded, "Understood. And Uncle Chio, the gate will break soon. I know it's a difficult request, but could you please buy us some time?" Uncle Chio Mubek nodded. "I see. I've always wanted to do it once." Lee Se-wol said, "The uncle I know is a martial master who can take on thousands. However, please be careful." Uncle Chio Mubek smiled. "Do you think I'll be hurt by those guys?" With that, he jumped down. The archers prepared to shoot their flaming arrows. Lee Se-wol shouted, "Fire!" As Pyang watched, 4 fire arrows flew through the air. He said, "You've done some preparation, huh?" Suddenly, the arrows hit the ground, and the wall burst into flames. A bald bandit turned to Pyang and said, "Clan leader, if this continues, we'll be at a disadvantage. From the first attack until now, I think at least 100 have died." Pyang thought to himself, "Even if we've experienced significant losses, we could still easily wipe out Mount Hang Sword Sect. Those arrows are merely to stall for time. Perhaps they're waiting for someone's help?" He smirked and said, "Then there's no reason to hesitate. I'll go personally." A few moments later, a bandit was hit in the face. Another was struck in the stomach. One was hit in the ribs, and another in the chest. As the remaining bandits watched their comrades fall, Uncle Chio Mubarak walked slowly toward the gates. The bandits trembled in fear, saying, a monster." Pyang said, "You guys go ahead and leave. I'll take care of this." One bandit thought to himself, Thank God." Pyang and Uncle Chio Mubarak faced each other silently. Pyang spoke first. "We meet again, Senior Chio." Uncle Chio Mubarak replied, "I have no memory of having a thief as a junior, though." Pyang smirked. "You're still the same as ever. They say even clothes brushing past each other means having a connection, so don't you and I have a connection from when we worked together?" Uncle Chio Mubarak said, "That was the past, but you ran away without looking back." Pyang grinned. "Let's call it a strategic retreat. Thanks to you, do you know how much I suffered as my insides burned?" Uncle Chio Mubarak's voice darkened. "Today it won't end with just being burned." Pyang teased, "Oh my, how about resolving it with a conversation? You're old and have a fiery temper." Uncle Chio Mubarak said sharply, "Conversation? If you didn't betray us, Cheonbaek, my friend, could have lived." Pyang shrugged. "It's because I'm not stupid enough to enter a fight I can't win." Uncle Chio Mubarak seethed. "And if that wasn't enough, you also killed So Guang?" Pyang smirked. That. I'm not gracious enough to spare a little kid who attacked me without knowing his place. If I had known that little boy would be my brother-in-law, should I have held back a little?" Uncle Chio Mubarak roared, "You bastard! Don't hope for a fluke like last time. There won't be any guys who can use barriers this time." He raged in power. Pyang smirked. He said, "For what reason do you think I gather underlings?" Uncle Chio Mubarak suddenly trembled in anger. He thought to himself, wait, when he was injured internally last time, he used his underlings as a shield to escape. What has he prepared today? He said, "What are you planning?" Pyang took out a pill from his pouch and said, "What do you mean by scheme? I only came forward because we can't possibly kill a tiger with a knife that kills chickens." Uncle Chio Mubarak snorted, I'm thankful." As he raged in anger, he charged at Pyang, shouting, "Thanks to you. My job will end quickly." Pyang called out, "Sura Mule Guan." He licked the pill and said, "That's what I wanted to say." He gulped it down. In a different scene, slashes were made. A soldier winced in pain. Ah! A bandit laughed. "Q ha ha. These Mount Hang Sword Sect guys don't amount to anything. If these are the kind of guys we have to kill, it'll be our victory." Suddenly, the bandit was struck by 3 arrows. Lee Se-wol's hands trembled from continuously firing, and she exhaled deeply. A bandit pointed at her and shouted, "There! Grab her first." The bandits rushed toward her. A soldier cried out, "Sect leader, you must escape." "Stop them," another soldier yelled. "We can't let them get to the sect leader." Lee Se-wol, exhausted, thought to herself, "Escape? Where to?" Suddenly she heard a loud noise at the gates. She shouted, "Uncle Cheo!" Pyang emerged from the shadows and said, "I know it's a bit much right now, but I need you to marry me." Lee Se-wol felt lightning strike her spine. She sweated and thought to herself, "Uncle Cheo." Uncle Cheo Mubarak, in pain and exhaustion, gasped, "Ooh!" In pain and he coughed violently. To himself he thought, "I have to go back quickly." I have to stop him. How could a human be that strong? In the distance, Jin Tae-kyung said, is there no retirement age for the Jokpung group guys? Why are they sending old men too? Hyuk Mujin replied, he's Mount Heng's tiger, the great warrior Cheol Mubarak. Jin Tae-kyung gasped, I'm sorry. Hey Mujin, what are you doing? Apologize to him now. Hyuk Mujin replied, you're the one who made the mistake, so why should I be the one to apologize? Suddenly, Jin Tae-kyung arrived and said to Uncle Cheol Mubarak, Grandpa! No, great warrior, are you okay? Uncle Cheol Mubarak looked at Jin Tae-kyung and whispered, Tae. 1. Family. Hyuk Mujin, Jin Mukyung, W. Hwa, and Jin Tae-kyung looked at him. Jin Tae-kyung asked, yeah, you recognize us? A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung and his team walked inside, seeing men scattered across the ground, sleeping forever. Jin Tae-kyung observed silently as Wohwa gave medicine to Uncle Cheol Mubarak. Uncle Cheol Mubarak trembled. Wohwa said, this will help a bit, but it's only a temporary fix. Right now, even a small child could kill Lord Cheol in his current state. Do you understand what I'm saying? Jin Mukyung said, I know. Both of you stay here and protect Lord Cheol. Jin Tae-kyung looked at him confused. Jin Mukyung added, are you kidding me? Jin Tae-kyung said, no, wait. Uncle Cheol Mubarak, trembling, whispered, the Crimson, Wind Clan, inside. Seoul is in danger. Jin Mukyung said, Lord Cheol, what happened? Did Pyang join hands with other masters? Uncle Cheol Mubarak said, be careful of those people. He trembled and sweated in pain, then dozed off. Hyuk Mujin exclaimed in shock, he's dead. Jin Tae-kyung said, he's still alive, you punk. He thought to himself, Pyang, who made a top-notch expert like Cheol Mubarak end up in this state, even has demons under his control. And he wants us to go with just the two of us? I don't know about Hyuk Mujin, but shouldn't we at least bring Wohwa? Does he not know how strong Wohwa is? Jin Mukyung whispered to Jin Tae-kyung, I told you we can do this. Trust me. Jin Tae-kyung looked at the system notification and sighed. Itch. I came here because there was no time to hesitate. Jin Tae-kyung said to Jin Mukyung, you told me you're confident? Jin Mukyung said, this is for the best. The others would just be a burden. Jin Tae-kyung sighed, stepping on a spear. He then declared, then I'll take care of those scoundrels. Jin Mukyung looked at him from behind and said, normally, during this kind of situation, shouldn't you say the opposite? Jin Tae-kyung replied, throw away those types of stereotypes. I learn how to win by observing my opponents. So, as the martial arts genius, you should take on Pyang. Jin Mukyung muttered, what a prick. Jin Tae-kyung added, and then, when I go in, I'll approach them as stealthily as possible, and when I give the signal, surprise attack them. Do you understand? Jin Mukyung asked. Surprise attack? Jin Tae-kyung nodded. We have to deal as much damage as possible from the beginning. While the enemies are preoccupied, we'll attack Pyang. Jin Mukyung said, I see. Jin Tae-kyung smiled. Good. We're finally on the same page. A system notification appeared. Remaining time, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Another notification appeared. Remaining time, 1 minute and 8 seconds. Then, another. Remaining time, 1 minute and 7 seconds. Jin Mukyung stepped forward. Jin Tae-kyung shouted as loud as he could, Pyang. A system notification said, the time limit has disappeared. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, Jin Mukyung, you son of a bitch. Lee Saewol gasped, marriage? I'd rather choose death. Pyang chuckled. You must be kidding, just like Hyo Langjom. Bring all the bastards who are barely breathing. The bandits responded, yes. Pyang thought to himself, shh. So this is the after effect of those power burst pills. As effective as they are, I knew there'd be side effects. But to think they would appear right away. I don't know if other side effects will appear, so I'll have to use the last 2 pills with caution. As the bandits dragged the captured people in, Lee Saewol shouted, what are you doing? Pyang said, shouldn't you have gotten the hint? First off, I will cut apart those guys in front of the lady. Arms, legs, here and there. The captured people trembled in fear, saying, Master, I'm sorry. Pyang smirked. It won't be a very pleasant sight, so I recommend you close your eyes. Lee Saewol said, if you do that. She pointed a dagger at her throat. Pyang shrugged. If you want to kill yourself, I won't stop you. Instead, your loyal servants will be slaughtered in return. Lee Saewol said, but that's not what you want, is it? Pyang smirked. My marriage partner wants to kill herself? There's nothing I can do about it. But still, Hyo Langjom's martial arts skills and Hang Sanho's martial spells should be enough. I'll have to pick up that old fart Cheol Mubarak on my back too. Lee Sewol trembled, tears streaming down her face. You Uncle Cheol is still alive. Pyang grinned. Of course. How could I kill the sole benefactor of the Sura annihilation spell? Lee Sewol trembled even more. Pyang approached her and said, I'll promise you one thing, it's not too late. If you marry me, I'll save everyone here. Lee Sewol dropped her knife. She cried out, keep your promise. Pyang smiled. Good choice. He thought to himself finally, a nameless beggar has finally become the head of a family. I don't care about the loss suffered during this battle. New wine must be put in new bottles. Under the name of Mount Hang Sword Sect, we will recruit soldiers and expand our power throughout Shaanxi province. He laughed, moo-ha-ha, but his voice cracked. Suddenly, he looked back and whispered to himself, a master. Lee Sewol was shocked. As they looked at the door, Pyang muttered to himself, one sword master and one spear master. A young swordsman with this level of agility. There's only one in Shaanxi province, Jinchon Sword, Jin Mukyung. And then, Jidin Tae Kyungsjed. So that is Pyang. Pyang thought to himself, Shaanxi Dragon. At times like this, the Taiwan family. This is bad. But he quickly added, not yet. Once we surpass this hurdle, the chance will come. Suddenly, Pyang greeted Jin Ta-kyung and Jin Mukyung. I am Pyang from the Jokpung group. Pyang evaded a slash, and as he did, one of the bandits was cut in half. Jin Mukyung said, you avoided it. This thief is quite good, he added. The bandits cried out in pain. Kyuk. Pyang snarled, is this the way of the Taiwan family? He charged towards Jin Mukyung. Jin Mukyung charged as well, saying, Jin Tae-kyung said, not me. The two clashed with their swords. They attacked simultaneously, and Pyang cried out in pain. Kyuk. Pyang thought to himself, he's stronger than me. Suddenly, Pyang jumped away. One bandit, confused, said, His friend looked at Jin Mukyung and said, huh? Suddenly, they both shouted in pain, Ak, ah! Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, this is how you do it. Very straightforward. I'm not sure if Jin Mukyung is strong or if Pyang was weaker than I thought. It's over so soon. Wait, is that the power burst pill that Cheol Mubayak spoke, oof. As Pyang swallowed another pill, Jin Mukyung jumped towards him. But suddenly, Pyang cut him in the shoulder and jumped away. Jin Tae-kyung was shocked. A system notification rang, ding. A sudden quest has been created. Ding, quest, power burst pill. Currently, Pyang from the Jokpung group is taking the power burst pill and has gained extraordinary power. Take him down and save the Mount Hang Sword Sect. Upon the death of Lee Sewol, the quest will fail. Grade, super high mission, stop level unknown Pyang. Victory incomplete limit, Jin Tae-kyung time of completion, unknown time of failure, unknown. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, this. Pyang shouted in rage, ah, as his voice cracked. Jin Tae-kyung thought, damn it. That cheap bastard who is supposed to be a peak rank master is doping. A box filled with the 12 Scarlet Blood Sword technique, the Scarlet Blood Cultivation technique, and 5 power burst pills. Upon finding these in one of the many graves hidden on the vast plateau, Pyang killed his underlings and encountered a life-changing event. He started training in a place no one could find. Due to his abnormal growth speed, he rose to a peak level in just 2 years and learned unorthodox martial arts. With the strength he possessed, even the Murim, which had laws, could do nothing about him. Pyang, who returned from the plateau, used the 2 blood arts and the strength of the power burst pills to destroy 2 major mountain bandit groups and take over them. But that was his limit. In return for learning unorthodox martial arts at a quick speed, he wasn't able to go deeper into it. Unless he reinforced the foundations of it by taking time to train each step, it was impossible to grow further. And then, the war between the Taiyuan family and the Mount Hang Sword Sect occurred at just the right time. At first, he was hired after being promised the Taiwan family's martial arts, but things went astray and ended there. He couldn't even acquire the power burst pills again, as no one knew how to make them. Had he used the power burst pills when he first attacked the Mount Hang Sword Sect, he might have already become the sect leader of the Mount Hang Sword Sect. Pyang smirked and said, well, this isn't so bad either, since I can get both the Taiyuan Jin families and Mount Hang Sword Sect's martial arts. Jin Mukyung thought to himself, it's not perfect, but that's definitely the enhanced sword chi. How many years would it take for him to reach that level through training alone? 10 years? 20 years? Years of comprehending martial art principles, unending training, blood, sweat, and tears. Are you telling me that one small pill allowed him to skip all of that? Jin Mukyung said, ha, my goodness, what kind of bastard made tat? Suddenly, Pyang charged towards Jin Mukyung. Jin Mukyung evaded and slid back. Pyang smirked. Jin Mukyung said. To think the great Taiyuan Jin family's children would run away using lazy donkey roll. You must have been anxious, huh? Jin Mukyung added, a donkey or whatever makes no difference. Can pride be used to help me make a living? There are even peak-level martial masters who throw stones at others. What's the big deal about using the lazy donkey roll? Pyang said, a peak-level master throwing stones? I'd love to meet that crazy bastard. Jin Mukyung said, you'll be able to meet him soon. Pyang asked, what? Suddenly, Pyang looked behind him. Jin Tae-kyung shouted, one strike, and it exploded. A few moments earlier, Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, thanks to leveling up while cleaning up those punks, my fatigue and stamina are completely recovered, and my body state is perfect. Plus, with Pyang's back being defenseless, the timing is good too. In the present, he shouted to himself, one strike, I've never seen a person be fine after being hit with it. But, what do they call this in Murim novels? As Pyang broke Jin Tae-kyung's spear, Jin Tae-kyung thought, enhanced protection chi. Pyang said, you should have attacked knowing where you stand. Jin Tae-kyung was shocked and jumped away, saying, ack. As Pyang continued to attack, Jin Tae-kyung said, crazy bastard. On top of sword chi and enhanced sword chi, he's now using enhanced protection chi? If I slip up, I'd really die. He quickly took out his spear. Pyang said, I heard you were brothers. The way you run away like rats is exactly the same. Jin Mukyung, standing behind him, replied, the same? I feel insulted. And then he stabbed Pyang from behind multiple times. Jin Mukyung was shocked. Pyang chuckled. That tickled. Was that your best? He turned and looked at Jin Mukyung with bloodshot eyes. Jin Mukyung replied, of course not. Pyang charged at Jin Mukyung, tongue sticking out as their swords clashed, creating a blast. Jin Tae-kyung watched, sweating as the dust cloud cleared. Pyang spat at the ground and groaned in pain. Q. He kneeled. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, we won. He looked at Pyang and Jin Mukyung. Pyang muttered, piercing strike. I didn't think the enhanced protection chi would break so easily. Was my comprehension lacking? Jin Mukyung remained silent. Pyang managed to stand up and said, I should get back to deep mountain training and focus on my martial arts for now. Jin Tae-kyung laughed, bah-ha-ha, are you crazy? Deep mountain training my ass. I'll send you to Baimeng Mountain for a tour instead. Suddenly, Jin Mukyung dropped to the ground. Jin Tae-kyung was shocked and confused. Huh. He saw that Jin Mukyung had been struck by multiple daggers. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, daggers? Shit, what should I do now? Pyang smirked. It's not enough to kill him, so don't worry. I need the Taiyuan Jin family's martial arts. I'm thinking of bringing you two with me. How about it? Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, he told me to trust him. What am I supposed to do all alone? Pyang said, it'll be better for you to peacefully cooperate. It'll be too late to regret it when all your limbs are cut off. Jin Tae-kyung, sweating, thought, Pyang should be equal to or stronger than the head elder. Without Jin Wee-kyung or the Taiyuan Jin family martial artists, how do I go against him? That damn power burst pills. If I were at Joe Pill's level, I could have done something on my own. Wait, Joe Pill. His eyes widened as he realized something and thought, Joe Pill. Pyang looked at Jin Tae-kyung and said, you better choose quickly, otherwise. Jin Tae-kyung replied, do you feel good taking drugs? A silence fell over the group. Pyang moved closer and said, what, did you just say that to me? Jin Mukyung smirked. Yeah, you drug junkie. I asked if it felt good taking drugs alone. Pyang blinked. What are you talking about? Jin Tae-kyung took out a pill from behind. Flashback, in the past, Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, what is this? Seo Cheon had given him a gift, and Uncle Gong Yachung had said, it's an item that you didn't take because you weren't able to. But since the owner's here, it's only right to return it. A system notification sounded, item, scorching elixir type, elixir level, peak limit, none description. This was produced with the secret techniques of the Scorching clan. Effects, upon use, you receive 30 years worth of internal energy. Warning, if you can't control the intense fire energy within the elixir, you will meet a terrible end. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, an eye for an eye, doping for doping. Now I'll also take drugs and fight you, bastard. He consumed the pill. A system notification rang, ding, you have consumed Scorching elixir. Another notification followed, ding. Control the energy with chi circulation. Jin Tae-kyung thought to himself, either way, there's only one choice. It's risky, but it's better than dying at Pyang's hands. It's 100 times better to gamble on the Scorching elixir. As the elixir sank into his stomach, it radiated a powerful heat. A system notification chimed again. Ding! You receive the attributes of Yoli and Gigi temporarily. Ding! Cultivation increases to 45 years temporarily. Ding! If you cannot control the power, you will die. Present, Jin Taekyung's body surged with energy, his skin turning red. He shouted, "Whoa!" Pyang, confused, asked, "What are you doing?" Jin Taekyung stepped forward, breathing heavily. "Ooh! Ooh!" He smirked. "Shh, what do you mean? I'm doing whatever I can." His body radiated with power. Pyang started to attack and shouted, "You! What did you take?" Jin Taekyung evaded easily, and Pyang continued to attack. He thought to himself, "I feel light. I can clearly see Pyang's movements, every single one. 45 years worth of internal energy. Although I can't control it perfectly, thanks to the scorching elixir, I feel like anything's possible. The problem is, it's a ticking time B-bomb. I have to defeat Pyang before then." Jin Taekyung said confidently, "You're dead." Pyang replied, "I'm not sure what you ate to be so full of shit, but it's useless." Jin Taekyung smirked, "Then why are you nervous?" Pyang growled, "A tiger always does its best to catch even a rabbit." Jin Taekyung retorted, "Are there tigers that take power burst pills to catch rabbits?" Pyang was internally shocked and in anger shouted, You, how do you know that name?" Jin Taekyung smirked, exhaling steam. "That's a business secret, you bastard." He attacked quickly. Pyang thought to himself, "I've never told anyone. How did Hey?" As the spear moved towards him, Pyang thought, "Perhaps this guy also. No, he's different from me, an elixir. I'm sure he's eaten a scorching yang elixir of some kind. Anyway, I'm not sure how or where he found out about the power burst pills, but this can't be overlooked. If rumors about the existence of a pill that can raise power 2 or 3 times spread, or if they learn that I've mastered Samoedo's blood martial arts, not just the Taiyuan Jin family, but the entire Murim world will start hunting for me." Jin Taekyung continued to attack. Pyang managed to leap away, landing with a thud. The sleeping dragon of Shangxi, Jin Taekyung. "I have to kill him to avoid future trouble." Jin Taekyung stared at Pyang, who met his gaze. They both launched attacks, their weapons clashing. Jin Taekyung's spear shattered on impact, with fragments flying. The spearhead punctured the ground. Pyang smirked. "Stupid. Did you really think you could beat me head-on?" He swung his sword. Jin Taekyung glanced at his broken spear, tossing it aside. "No, but I've learned something important from that." Pyang raised an eyebrow. "Important information." Jin Taekyung grinned. "Yeah, your attack pattern is attack, he pointed at Pyang, his tone mocking. Pyang, confused, stammered, "Pat, what? Attack, you bastard. It seems you don't understand the situation yet. In return for that nonsense, I'll cut your circulatory system." Jin Taekyung picked his nose, nonchalantly saying, "You really like stabbing and ripping apart limbs. Are you a limb maniac?" Pyang raged in frustration. "This kid." Jin Taekyung mocked. "This old bastard." Pyang growled, "You're definitely dying by my hands." Jin Taekyung smirked. "I sometimes rip limbs, sometimes I make this mem." Pyang, in a fit of rage, jumped toward Jin Taekyung, shouting, "Q, die!" Jin Taekyung didn't move. His eyes widened. He fell for it. Suddenly, Jin Taekyung took out a knife and struck Pyang. Pyang groaned in pain. "Q." Jin Taekyung thought to himself. It was too shallow. As Pyang dropped to the ground, Jin Taekyung muttered, "Again." He saw Pyang pull something out, then shoot at him. Jin Taekyung dodged just in time. "Whoa!" he exclaimed as the dagger hit a nearby pillar. Jin Taekyung stepped back twice. Pyang seethed. "This, rat-like bastard, you have some odd abilities." Jin Taekyung cursed, "Shit. I succeeded up until the part where I lured him in by riling him up. It's a shame, such a shame." Suddenly, Jin Taekyung was shocked. His body began to bulge with power. The scorching yang energy is increasing on its own. It's slowly getting harder to endure. Does this guy have no side effects? He's still so lively. Jin Taekyung's eyes widened in realization. "Huh?" Pyang looked at him, seemingly puzzled. Jin Taekyung grunted in pain. "Q, the power burst pill's effect is dropping." As Pyang continued to attack, Jin Taekyung managed to evade, running desperately. Pyang grinned in frustration. Not even 1 hour has passed. The effects are already wearing off? Was using 2 power burst pills at the same time a problem after all? I guess the pills don't last long. Feeling the stress on his neck, Pyang growled to himself. "Either way, I have to end it right here." He shouted, "Kwa!" Jin Taekyung was struck on the arm and leg. "Shit!" Jin Taekyung grunted. Was I wrong? He tumbled away to avoid another attack, but pain shot through his chest. "Kuh!" He sweated heavily. I can only suppress the scorching yang energy this much. I have to release this energy somehow, if I can just escape his sight for a moment. He pulled out a spear. Suddenly, something fast flew toward Pyang. An arrow was about to hit him in the face. Pyang caught it effortlessly, saying, there are still a few suicidal brats left. Huh, this one's a girl? Lee Sewol exhaled deeply. Pyang sneered, I don't think I need to waste my time on an introduction, seeing that this will be your final resting place. As Jin Tae-kyung charged his spear from behind, his eyes glowing, he said, Nice shot, Ms. Moonju. Pyang looked back in shock. Fucker. Jin Tae-kyung shouted, One strike. Electricity surged through his spear. Pyang tried to deflect it with his sword, but it shattered. Pyang was shocked. Jin Tae-kyung landed a hit, and moments later the building began to collapse. Debris fell to the ground. Jin Tae-kyung's spear shattered, and the dust cloud cleared. A shadow appeared, standing tall. Jin Tae-kyung, exhausted, gazed ahead. Suddenly, a hand reached out from the dust and grabbed Jin Tae-kyung by the throat. Kuh! He gasped, rising into the air. Kaha! Kuh! Pyang said, That wasn't too bad. If I was just a moment late, or if my enhanced protection chi was broken, you might have actually won. Jin Tae-kyung, struggling in pain, gasped, Keg, ku da kwa. Bastard, you were just lucky. Pyang smirked. Sure, before I kill you, I'm going to rip out that tongue. He shoved his fingers into Jin Tae-kyung's mouth. Jin Tae-kyung groaned, Nangak. Pyang sneered. You should have seen this coming when you started running your mouth like that, right? Jin Tae-kyung wheezed. Wah. Pyang laughed cruelly. Look at him, he's still trying to speak. Want me to give you the opportunity to spit out your last words? Jin Tae-kyung trembled in pain. Gritting his teeth. Ku, ke, kaka, da pp2. Pyang sneered. Any last words? Jin Tae-kyung mocked him. Salty. Wash your hands before you go out, you asshole. To himself, Jin Tae-kyung thought, Inventory, open. Give me anything. A system notification chimed, ring, searching for anything, no items found. The notification chimed again, ring, equipping the oldest item in your inventory. Another notification, ring, nameless sword, has been equipped. Jin Tae-kyung, confused, muttered to himself, nameless sword. What is that? Doesn't matter. Pyang grinned. I knew you'd do that. Even if I don't know where you keep getting all this stuff from, do you really think these tricks will keep working on me? He intensified his chi. I'm fed up with this. Just die. Jin Tae-kyung, struggling, thought to himself, that damn enhanced protection chi. As Pyang was about to strike Jin Tae-kyung's face, the latter grinned. He was sweating and breathing hard. Pyang hesitated. Huh? Suddenly the sword passed through Pyang's body. A system notification echoed. Special requirements have been satisfied. Another one followed. Strange energy surged through the enhanced protection chi. Jin Tae-kyung, confused, muttered, What? Pyang, shocked, gasped. What the? I've heard rumors about this before. A divine mystical weapon that can penetrate anything in this world. 10 millennia. Cold steel? How did a little shit like you? Jin Tae-kyung, equally stunned, said, Huh. Pyang cursed. God damn it. Jin Tae-kyung marveled. Wow, that really worked. Pyang, his body trembling, thought to himself, I can't die like this. That's right. The power burst pills. I just have to take another pill, and I'll be able to kill these brats and get out of here. With trembling hands, he took out a box of pills. His hands shook as he dropped one. No, he thought, as the pill rolled toward Jin Tae-kyung's foot. Jin Tae-kyung picked it up, smirking. So this is a power burst pill? Pyang gasped. Give it back. Hurry. Jin Tae-kyung grinned. Dunno, should I? Pyang pleaded. Please, I'm begging you. Give me the pill. Just give it to me, and I'll. You'll never see my face again. Please, just give it. Jin Tae-kyung smirked. If you were me, would you give it to yourself? He raised the sword, pain clearly visible in Pyang's face as he shouted, Kwa! Jin Tae-kyung exhaled deeply, exhausted, as Pyang fell to the ground. Jin Tae-kyung looked at his body as Pyang trembled. Even if I have to become a vengeful spirit, I'll make you pay for this. Jin Tae-kyung calmly replied, Amen. Stick to Viagra in the next life. Pyang, in his final thoughts, muttered, To the end. That brat's nonsense. Jin Tae-kyung stood there, exhausted, when suddenly a light shone brightly. Multiple notifications flashed on the screen. Ring, 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 multiple notifications. Ring, we're shocked. Jin Tae-kyung was shocked. A system notification dinged. Ding, you've dealt with level 85 Pyang. Another followed. Ding, You successfully completed Power Burst Pill Quest. More notifications. Ding. You have acquired a large amount of experience and fame. Ding. Level up. 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 Jin Tae-kyung suddenly glowed green as his wounds from his nose to his arm and leg healed. A notification chimed. Ding. The quest success reward has been sent into your inventory. Another. Ding. As a reward for succeeding in the quest, complete recovery is applied immediately. Jin Tae-kyung, still in shock, thought to himself, complete recovery? He felt the energy circulating in his body, the raging chi gathering into one spot. A system notification rang. Ding! Your internal wounds have been completely healed. Ding! Your stabilized body receives new energy. Jin Tae-kyung stared at the system, confused as the notifications kept coming. Ding! You have completely absorbed scorching elixir. Ding! Your internal energy has increased by 45 years. Ding! Internal energy, scorching yang energy's attributes have been applied. Jin Tae-kyung grinned in disbelief. I did it! My goodness, 45 years of internal energy. He muttered to himself, I was going to try to control the scorching yang energy after I leveled up, let my body recover, and use chi circulation. But thanks to the system, I managed to resolve it easily. He looked at the sword. If not for this, I might be the one on the ground instead. He continued reflecting. I thought this was just a sword that was sharper and sturdier than other swords, but I didn't know 10 millennia cold steel had such effects. And who even called it the nameless sword? He recalled Joe Pill. Ah, Joe Pill. I can't believe you foresaw all this and died for me. Thank you, Joe Pill. Haha. A few moments later, Jin Tae-kyung was in a room with Hyuk Mujin, who said, Oh my, your shoulders seem very tense. If I had been there, I'd have given that Pyang bastard a good beating. You know that, right? Jin Tae-kyung sighed. Sure, that hits the spot. Hyuk Mujin smirked. Of course I know that. That you'd have gotten killed by Pyang. Hyuk Mujin continued massaging Jin Tae-kyung's shoulders. Jin Tae-kyung sighed. Hey dude, use more strength. And Jin Mu-kyung, how's my second brother? Hyuk Mujin replied. The physicians say there's nothing to worry about though. They also said the other wounded people are recovering quickly. Could they be quacks? Both Master Lee and warrior Cho Mu-baek seem to have been injured quite badly. Jin Tae-kyung muttered. They're people sent by the lower district sect. Let's trust in their abilities. To himself, he added, if it weren't for me, everyone would have been in deep trouble. They were lucky that I used the quest reward I got, the exceptional physical bomb and 10-year tuber fleece flower, for emergency treatment. If we had waited until the lower district sect arrived, half of them would have died already. Well, for Wo Hua, who already had forces standing by with the intention of rescue, she's definitely extraordinary. If she becomes my enemy, she'd be a troublesome one. But to be allies with her. As he thought of Wo Hua, he began to sweat. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Jin Tae-kyung murmured to himself, I ought not to get too close to her. Stay at a certain distance. Yeah, just enough to avoid being her enemy, but not too close to her. Master Jin, may I enter? Lee Se-wol's voice rang through the door. Jin Tae-kyung and Hyuk Mujin both looked up, shocked. A few moments later in the evening, Jin Tae-kyung sat in front of Lee Se-wol. He cleared his throat. She remained silent. Jin Tae-kyung took a sip from his cup, thinking to himself, it's so nerve-wracking to be alone with someone I was involved in scandals with not too long ago. With the Mount Hang sword sect in such a mess, I don't even know what to say. Should I try to comfort her? He set the cup down and nervously asked, so, have you eaten? The room fell silent. Jin Tae-kyung thought, damn, I should have kept my mouth shut. Lee Se-wol stood up suddenly. Jin Tae-kyung panicked. Sorry. He broke out in a sweat. Lee Se-wol bowed before him, saying, Mount Hang sword sect's Lee Se-wol pays my respects to my benefactor. Jin Tae-kyung flustered. Gosh, please don't do that. I'm no benefactor. Lee Se-wol remained calm. I should do this. As a person, I ought to be grateful for the kindness that's been shown to me. Please don't embarrass me, Jin Tae-kyung muttered, but to himself he thought, well, she isn't wrong, I guess. If not for me and Jin Mu-kyung, Mount Hang's sword sect would have closed down today. If she wants to be thankful, then instead of a bow, she should dedicate today as the day that Sleeping Dragon of Shaanxi visited and celebrated as Mount Hang's public holiday. He quickly discarded the thought, muttering, that's too overboard. Anyways, Jin Tae-kyung said, trying to move on, all right, please calm down and take a seat. Lee Se-wol nodded. I'll follow your instructions, my benefactor. Jin Tae-kyung sighed. Can't you just speak normally without calling me your benefactor? Lee Se-wol smiled slightly. Yes, my benefactor. Jin Tae-kyung fell silent, unsure how to respond. Lee Se-wol spoke up. I'm here to give you the answer to the letter that you gave me. Jin Tae-kyung blinked. Letter? A system notification popped up. Ding! You have completed the invitation delivery quest. Another followed. Ding! Quest, yesterday's enemy, today's ally has been completed. Jin Tae-kyung muttered, Ah, the invitation. Do you mean the answer to whether you'll attend the Taiyuan Jin family's New Year event? Lee Se-wol smiled. I'd be honored to accept your invitation. Jin Tae-kyung nodded, thinking to himself, well, that's to be expected. Lee Se-wol continued, and as my apology for what happened previously, all the rights of the territories under our sect, I will be handing them over to the Taiyuan Jin family. Jin Tae-kyung's eyes widened in shock. She's giving me the whole northern part of Shaanxi? Even Jin Wee-kyung wouldn't be able to make that kind of request, though. We're more than happy since she's serving it to us on a platter, but... He stammered, Thank you. I'm sure my eldest brother would be happy to hear this. Lee Se-wol added, adding on. Jin Tae-kyung's mind raced. What? It's not over yet? Lee Se-wol took out something from her bag and opened it. Jin Tae-kyung stared at the books inside, confused. Lee Se-wol explained. The martial arts that my father created while he was alive, blood vagrant sword technique and stride technique, and Uncle Cheol's secret ultimate technique, Asura annihilation fist. They're all remarkable peak-level martial arts. Jin Tae-kyung stood up in shock, his mind racing. 3 secret martial art manuals of peak level? This, the valley rights to the northern Shaanxi territory. He stared at the books, finally asking, is this a present? Lee Se-wol shook her head. No, this is a trade. Jin Tae-kyung sat down gently, a bit disappointed. I knew it. There's no way she'd give such precious items so easily. Seeing as how she's using those items to make a deal, what she wants must be of really high value too. He sighed, thinking, let's not get into this and suffer. I'll just get out now. He cleared his throat. I'm not sure if you know, but I'm just here to pass an invitation to you. I don't have any authority. It might be better for you to talk to my eldest brother instead. Lee Se-wol shook her head. No, in my opinion, you are more than enough to handle this trade. Although a lot of discussions will be needed. Jin Tae-kyung looked at her, confused. Jin Tae-kyung said ahem. Well, if you're going that far to say that, then I'll hear you out first. What do you want in return for 3 peak-level secret martial art manuals? Lee Se-wol's lips suddenly curls, and she smiled at Jin Tae-kyung and said, Please marry me. Outside, the moon shone brightly as the door opened. Lee Se-wol stood, preparing to leave. I'll be taking my leave then, she said softly. Hyuk Mujin, sitting outside in the dark, silently observed her. Lee Se-wol glanced to the left as she walked away from Jin Tae-kyung's room, her figure disappearing into the night. Hyuk Mujin continued to observe Lee Se-wol as she walked away. He watched her figure fade into the distance, and as his emotions swirled, he murmured to himself, although it was brief, I loved you, Lady Lee. A tear welled up in his eyes. He sighed deeply. He then scowled, shaking his head. Why is my young master's luck so good? Moments later, inside Jin Tae-kyung's head, he was still lost in thought. Hyuk Mujin's voice broke through the haze. Squad leader, what's the matter? Please get a grip. Squad leader. Hyuk Mujin shook him roughly, bringing him back to reality. Jin Tae-kyung blinked in confusion. Mujin, yes, please speak freely, Hyuk Mujin responded, his voice filled with urgency. Jin Tae-kyung hesitated, his mind still swirling. Do you know how old Miss So-wol is? Come on, Miss So-wol, why are you being so informal? You should address her as sect leader or lady, Hyuk Mujin scolded. Jin Tae-kyung shot back with a threatening tone. Unless you don't want to become deceased Hyuk Mujin, then shut up and answer me. Hyuk Mujin gulped, then answered nervously, how old is she again? I think she's about to become of age to get married, Tito. I remember now. Jin Tae-kyung's curiosity piqued. How old is she? Hyuk Mujin scratched his head. 17 years old. Jin Tae-kyung froze, his mind racing. What? At that moment, a nearby pedo police suddenly glanced in his direction, making him jump. Jin Tae-kyung's thoughts swirled. She's a minor? The next morning, Wohua was speaking with the leaders of the lower district sect. The sleeping dragon of Shaanxi and Heavenly Jin Blade killed Pyang in one blow, Wohua declared. Just spread rumors like this. If there are any remnants left, they'll run away on their own. She continued with a smirk. Although it may differ a little from the truth, we can't shed blood for someone else's fight, right? The Hanju branch leader of the lower district sect agreed. Yes, ma'am. The Zhongyang branch leader hesitated. It looks like they've already caught wind of it, considering no one dared to come close to this place. But Wohua cut him off. Branch leader? The Hanju branch leader nervously added, I heard from the injured that Pyang took down both the Mount Hang Tiger's guards and the Heavenly Jin Blade in a short time, all by himself, and then the sleeping dragon of Shanxi overpowered him. Is that true? Wolhua nodded. Yes, but I didn't witness the fight in person. The Zhengyang branch leader's eyes widened. Oh, that's amazing. From my understanding of the letter, his martial arts skills are still first-rate. How can he go beyond our expectations every single time, he mused. He smirked. For some reason, don't you look forward to seeing what surprises he has in store for us next time? Wolhua's expression darkened and a cold, dark aura seeped from her body. Looking forward to other surprises he has? The two branch leaders quickly recoiled in fear. Eek, Wolhua's voice was filled with rage. I am having a splitting headache thanks to the extra expenditure and discarded information due to his surprises. But what did you say? Looking forward to other surprises he has? The Zhengyang branch leader stammered. My apologies. My useless mouth ran off. Wolhua crossed her arms, still seething. It's good that you understand. Now get the hell out and work. Yes, ma'am. The Zhengyang branch leader scrambled to leave. Wolhua sighed heavily. She muttered to herself, Jin Taekyung, oh Jin Taekyung. Her mind wandered as she spoke softly. There are people like that. Someone who always goes beyond expectations. That's the type that cannot be judged by information. In that case, what should I do, master? Her thoughts drifted further, recalling a past conversation. Don't judge, just observe, until you can be sure of it yourself. She furrowed her brow. What if I'm not sure even after doing that much? The voice of someone she trusted echoed in her mind. Unpredictable. If there's such a person, wouldn't he become someone that can shake the world someday? Wolhua's eyes narrowed as the idea took root. Someone who can shake the world, huh? Meanwhile, Jin Taekyung was lost in his thoughts, reflecting on Lee Se-wol's proposal. He remembered her words clearly. Marriage is a matter of life and death, so please think about it very carefully and give me your answer. He sipped from his cup, muttering to himself, to think I'd get a proposal from a girl much younger than me. As expected, is this how they do things in the Murim? He sighed again, still unsure. No, it may be more strange to not get married at this age. Still, if she's 17, that means she's 2 years younger than Ha-yeon. So for me to marry her is a bit. Just then Jin Mukyung entered, breaking his thoughts. What are you thinking about with that stupid face? Jin Taekyung raised an eyebrow. Are you married? Jin Mukyung spat tea all over Jin Taekyung's face. What nonsense? Why all of a sudden? Jin Taekyung cursed. Fuck. If you're not, just say so. Why are you so flustered? Did you commit a crime? Jin Mukyung sputtered. I'm already so busy learning martial arts. To me, having a lover is a luxury. Don't put me on the same level as a lewd bastard like you. That's an insult to me. Jin Taekyung thought to himself, lewd my ass. I've been single for 27 years. Jin Mukyung poured another cup, still flustered. Heck, that caught me off guard. Jin Taekyung smirked. If dating is a luxury, then I would be a complete Scrooge, you know? Jin Mukyung paused, then smirked. But why are you suddenly asking me that when you already know the answer? Jin Taekyung hesitated, then sighed. Ah, that Mount Heng sword sect leader wanted to marry me, so I. Before he could finish, Jin Mukyung spat another large amount of tea at him. Ah, stop spitting, Jin Taekyung shouted. Mount Heng sword sect leader said that? Jin Mukyung exclaimed in disbelief. Jin Taekyung nodded. Yes, she did, 2 days ago. Jin Mukyung shook his head in disbelief. Why the hell would she want to marry someone like you? Jin Taekyung groaned. Ah, it must be an arranged marriage, right? That's not entirely wrong, but somehow I feel offended, Jin Taekyung muttered. Jin Mukyung raised an eyebrow. Then, are you going to do it? Jin Taekyung sat back with a relaxed expression. Of course not. How can I marry someone as young as her? Jin Mukyung shook his head, rolling his eyes. You just say whatever you want, huh? He leaned forward, speaking with an unusual sense of approval. Still, you did well. When it comes to political marriage, there should be something to gain. But if we gain nothing by marrying a person who doesn't love us, then there's no reason to get married. And no matter what the offer is, there's no way our brother would agree to it. He is not someone who would tie you down with a political marriage. Jin Taekyung sighed. They made quite a big offer, though. What was their offer? Jin Mukyung asked, intrigued. Blood Vagrant Sword Technique, Blood Vagrant Stride Technique, and Asura Annihilation Fist. Jin Mukyung, without missing a beat, spat his tea all over Jin Taekyung's face again. This son of a bitch. Is he doing this on purpose? Jin Taekyung thought, wiping his face. Jin Mukyung grabbed Jin Taekyung by his shirt with enthusiasm. Get married immediately. Steam practically came out of his nose as he blushed with excitement. Elsewhere, Uncle Chil Mubarak sat with Lee Se-wol. So Wol, he said gently. Yes, uncle, she replied. her voice filled with the weight of her decision. Chil Mubaik looked at her seriously. I really hope you can be happy. It's still not too late. Marry the person you love. If you get help from the Taiwan Jin family, you can have a safe and happy life anywhere in Shaanxi. Lee Sewol looked down at the ground, her voice steady but filled with resolve. What I want is not a family but the Mount Heng Sword sect. Chil Mubaik felt a pang of sadness in his heart. My pitiful niece. This young girl has to live with the burden of rebuilding and revitalizing the sect. He sighed, his voice heavy. You may regret what you chose today. Lee Sewol raised her head, meeting his gaze. But you'll trust me with whatever choice I make, won't you? Chil Mubaik's eyes softened. Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't have passed the secret martial art manual of the Asura Annihilation Fist to you. Lee Sewol smiled faintly, grateful for his support. Please calm down. She reached out, gently touching his hand. Chil Mubaik, reflecting on her words, thought to himself, I know this was a big decision for you. Thank you, uncle, Lee Sewol said quietly. Chil Mubaik cleared his throat, his tone changing. Ahem, I'm too old. Now that it's come to this, it'll be difficult to choose a disciple. But a good opportunity has come. So what I'm trying to say is, whom did you choose out of the two? Lee Sewol was shocked as Uncle Chil Mubaik suddenly changed tone and she said, What? Uncle? Uncle Chil Mubaik smirked. I know that there's not much difference, but isn't the heavenly Jin blade better? Lee Sewol looked at him, surprised. Oh my, do you not like the sleeping dragon of Shaanxi? Chil Mubaik shook his head. No, I mean, rather than that, there is no one better than the older brother. Yesterday I talked with him briefly, and he seemed like his skills are really great too. Nice guy. Lee Sewol raised an eyebrow. He sounds like someone who doesn't know anything other than martial arts. Chil Mubaik laughed. Hey, he is still much better than a womanizer, right? Lee Sewol shook her head. His words and actions are those of a mature person. A man is supposed to be like that. No, he has to be like that. Back to Jin Taekyung and Jin Mukyung. Jin Mukyung shouted at Jin Taekyung, frustrated. Yeah, you ignorant son of a bitch. Don't you know what kind of martial art the Asura Annihilation Fist is? Jin Taekyung, confused, asked, Wait, seriously, I mean, what kind of martial art is the Asura Fist of Destruction for you to be this obsessed with it? Jin Mukyung was practically shaking with excitement. It's not matchless, but it was hailed as one of the world's best martial arts 200 years ago, and was said to only be passed down to one person. It's a very rare legend that remains only in the library of the Heavenly Martial Art Academy, which has thousands to tens of thousands of books. Jin Taekyung raised an eyebrow. B.U.T. Jin Mukyung grabbed his shoulders. Warrior Mount Heng Tiger is the very heir to the Asura Annihilation Fist. Do you even understand how lucky you are? Jin Taekyung wiped the saliva off his face. So? Jin Mukyung paused, stunned. What do you mean by so? Did you not understand what I just? Jin Taekyung shrugged. The Asura Fist of Destruction is no longer the world's best martial art, right? If it's as powerful as you said, Pyongyang would have stolen it a long time ago. Jin Mukyung looked conflicted, his excitement faltering. That, Jin Taekyung sighed. Most importantly, I have no intention of getting married. There's nothing you can do if I don't want to. Am I right? Jin Mukyung huffed, frustrated. But fine, don't do it. He slumped against the wall. Highs. Why can't you just close your eyes and go ahead and get married? Having only one younger brother is... What a waste. Asura Fist of Destruction. Jin Taekyung, confused, glanced at him. Is he sulking? He smirked to himself. This bastard. He is a martial arts maniac. Well, he was also someone who would go all the way to the Heavenly Martial Art Academy just to further improve his skills. An idea crossed his mind. Shall I tease him a bit? Jin Taekyung leaned in, grinning. Is it really such a waste? After we've built our relationship, we can always get it next time. Jin Mukyung shot up, offended. Stupid fool. Do you think peak-level martial arts just fall out of the sky? He pointed a finger at Jin Taekyung. Even at the Heavenly Martial Art Academy, where the martial arts of the world are gathered. Jin Taekyung raised an eyebrow. It did fall right into my arms, though. Jin Mukyung froze. Huh? Jin Taekyung smirked as he revealed a book. I said it did fall right into my arms, and at a transcendent level at that. Jin Mukyung trembled with a mix of disbelief and excitement. Divine! And he shouted Divine Palm of Fire. Suddenly, a system notification appeared in front of them, confirming the martial arts manual's presence. Item Divine Palm of Fire category, Martial Art Manual rank, Transcendent Restriction, Flame Chi Practitioner, one of the Scorching Clan's techniques. A martial art based on powerful flame chi. Effect, acquire Divine Palm of Fire. Jin Mukyung stared, wide-eyed. Hey, How do you have tat? Jin Tae-kyung casually responded. Someone very grateful to me gave it to me and left. He went to the heavens. He gave it to you and left? Jin Moo-kyung asked, sounding like he couldn't believe it. Stop talking nonsense and tell me the truth. How did you get your hands on a technique that exclusively belongs to the Scorching clan just like that? I am serious. Someone gave it to me and left. Jin Tae-kyung insisted, unfazed. What's wrong with you? Jin Moo-kyung's face twisted into frustration. It seems you're misunderstanding something here. I am not in the mood for your bullshit. What? Why? Jin Tae-kyung asked, genuinely curious. You may very well be the thief who stole martial arts manuals from other martial arts sects, Jin Moo-kyung growled. If that happens, our family will be criticized by the whole world. In the worst case, it may lead to our family's destruction. Are you serious? Jin Tae-kyung raised an eyebrow, not taking him seriously. Joe Pill? Jin Moo-kyung spat. That one word, one strike Joe Pill. How the hell did that bastard get his hands on the divine palm of fire technique? Who knows? Jin Tae-kyung shrugged, staying calm. At that moment, a voice echoed in their minds as Joe Pill himself appeared and said, I am the 19th successor of the divine palm of fire. One word. One strike Joe Pill. Jin Tae-kyung replied, although, didn't he say it himself? That he was the 19th successor of the divine palm of fire? What successor? How can a bastard like him? Jin Moo-kyung muttered, still in disbelief. Did you hear it wrong? No, I am sure. There's no reason for him to lie before his death, right? Jin Tae-kyung answered confidently. I didn't even ask, but that's what he said. Jin Moo-kyung's mind raced. Even if that's true, why would the successor of the divine palm of fire lose to someone like you? Jin Tae-kyung paused, thinking to himself, agreed. Although I am offended by what he said, it's true. A guy who learned peak martial arts going around doing all kinds of stupid stuff already sounds fishy enough. And for a first-rate martial artist like myself, who couldn't even utilize sword chi properly, to win against him is... Jin Tae-kyung looked at Jin Moo-kyung and said aloud, Divine palm of fire, is it weaker than I thought? Jin Moo-kyung nearly lost his mind. What? Divine palm of fire is weak? Crazy bastard. You are probably the only one in the world who has the nerve to say that the Flame King's exclusive martial art technique is weak. Jin Tae-kyung looked puzzled. Flame King who? I'm not in the mood for your jokes, Jin Moo-kyung grunted, his patience running thin. Me too? Jin Tae-kyung replied, confused. I am not joking. Do you really have no idea who he is? Jin Moo-kyung pressed. Yep, I don't. That's why I asked. Jin Tae-kyung responded honestly. Jin Moo-kyung sighed deeply, pointing at the table. The Flame King is a master who can be in the top 20 with his world-dominating power. One god! 3 stars, 10 kings, he continued. You've never heard of them? Are you serious? Jin Tae-kyung blinked in realization. Samsung. I think I've heard of it before. It's something else entirely, but... Phew, that's a relief. Jin Moo-kyung sighed. Glad that at least his brother wasn't completely ignorant. It happened 40 years ago, during the war between the demon and just factions. The demon factions, which took advantage of the situation, defeated the Namgung family and occupied Anhui Castle. Jin Moo-kyung continued to explain, eyes wide with excitement. In the process, numerous lootings, murders, and arson took place. Legend has it that the sight of fire set on Mount Guhua angered a mysterious hermit living near there. 1,000 people. Thousands of demonic martial artists were killed in a mere span of 4 days, so they had to retreat from Anhui Castle. But that didn't relieve that old man's anger, as he continued to go around and kill every demonic martial artist in sight for a whole year before he disappeared again. That's when people started calling him the Flame King. Jin Moo-kyung finished, his voice low. He looked at his brother with concern. What if he finds out that the wrong guy is in possession of his martial art? Jin Tae-kyung also broke into a cold sweat, realizing the gravity of the situation. Jin Moo-kyung frantically waved his hands, his mind racing. Let's not think about that. Jin Tae-kyung, looking serious, said, Let's give this back. Let's depart immediately. Anhui Castle? Is he still living there? Jin Tae-kyung asked, but Jin Moo-kyung didn't have an answer. Nobody knows. Why do you think people call him a hermit? Jin Moo-kyung said with a sigh. Jin Tae-kyung's mind was racing. The Flame Clan, we can see him if we go there. Jin Moo-kyung shook his head. The Flame Clan also passes down their technique to one person only. It's similar to Lord Cheol. Jin Tae-kyung cursed inwardly. Fu, seek, then what are you telling me to do? Jin Moo-kyung muttered darkly. However, when the Flame King last appeared 40 years ago, he was already an old man. Jin Tae-kyung's eyes widened. Huh? What if he's already dead? Jin Mukyoung said, his voice trailing off. You would then become the Flame Clan's patriarch. Meanwhile, outside, Wolhua waved goodbye. Bye. It's sad to say goodbye like this, right? Jin Tae-kyung offered a grin. Then would you like to travel with us? Wolhua laughed lightly. Oh my, I would love to do that. I just happen to be planning to look around the northern part of Shangxi. Ah, then I can assume that the matter regarding Mount Heng's sword sect has been taken care of? Jin Tae-kyung asked with a teasing smile. Not telling. As a branch manager, I can't go around telling my sect's secrets to foreigners, right? Wolhua teased him. Then please excuse me, I will have to go first due to my tight schedule. Bye. Jin Tae-kyung waved as she left, still pondering the new strange turn his journey was taking. Hyuk Mujin said with a smile, Have a good day, ma'am. Wolhua's carriage began to move off, and she called out, See you next time in Taiwan. Jin Mukyoung muttered to himself, You should have stayed a bit longer. Just as Jin Tae-kyung was about to turn away, Lee Se-wol spoke up, Savior. Jin Tae-kyung looked back, his expression confused. Ah, he exclaimed, greeting Matriarch Se-wol and bowing slightly. Matriarch, good morning. At the same time, Uncle Cheol Mubarak arrived and jovially said, Aigu, and he talks to Jin Mukyoung and says, Isn't that our heavenly Jin's sword? All right, are you leaving now? Jin Mukyoung nodded respectfully. Yes, sir. Uncle Cheol Mubarak, ever the jovial figure, urged, Why don't you stay a little longer? We can discuss martial arts later on, right? Jin Tae-kyung, looking a bit puzzled, thought to himself, What the hell is going on here? When did they get so close? He turned to Hyuk Mujin and asked, Those two, why are they like that? Mujin, slightly clueless, replied, I have no idea, young master. Jin Mukyoung, still polite, declined. My apologies, we are short on time, so... Uncle Cheol Mubarak laughed and said, Haha, I guess there's no helping it. Jin Mukyoung politely added, Please give this junior your guidance the next time we meet. Cheol Mubarak chuckled at the formality. Oh ho ho junior, huh? I love the sound of that. Jin Tae-kyung muttered under his breath. He was calling me his savior before, but I don't think he even sees me anymore. Hyuk Mujin smirked. But to be honest, you didn't do anything, right? Uncle Cheol Mubarak gave a hearty laugh and turned to Jin Mukyoung. Fine, let's meet up later. Then he glanced at Jin Tae-kyung, his voice taking on a more serious tone. Don't you have anything to say? Jin Tae-kyung, a bit caught off guard, responded, Ah, Lord Cheol, you've come. Cheol Mubarak grinned. Of course I came. Where would I go? Jin Tae-kyung checked on him. Are you doing all right? Uncle Cheol Mubarak's face twisted slightly. Does it look like I am? Jin Tae-kyung looked worried. Sir, are you mad about something? Cheol Mubarak waved it off. Oh, of course not. I would have walked here if I was fine. He then muttered with a sigh. Even those bandit bastards work hard without retiring these days. So, do you think an old man like me would soon kick the bucket? Lee Se-wol immediately scolded him. Uncle Cheol Mubarak exaggeratedly placed his hand over his heart. Agu, this old man's ears are going to fall off. Jin Tae-kyung, with a small smile, thought to himself, You have a great memory for an old man. Cheol Mubarak then became serious. But seriously, thanks everyone. It isn't just because you all have extended this old man's life for a few more years, but thanks to you all for protecting that child, Se-wol. Thanks to you all, the Mount Heng sword sect can live to see another day. He continued, his tone sincere. There is a fact that I realized after living for so long, grace and resentment must be paid back at any cost. I swear, I will never forget this day until the day I die. If you ever need my assistance, I am willing to lay down my life. Lee Se-wol nodded, her voice filled with gratitude. Mount Heng sword sect will also forever remember our benefactor's grace. She then bent down and said, As for the mistake committed by my late father, she dropped to her knees. I beg for your forgiveness. I beg for your forgiveness. Everyone in the group bowed deeply in reverence. Please forgive us. Jin Tae-kyung stood in stunned silence, his mind racing. Jin Mukyoung looked at Jin Tae-kyung seriously, his eyes silently urging him to speak. Jin Tae-kyung, after a long moment of inner conflict, finally spoke. Forgiveness? Huh. His thoughts flashed back to the fallen children with markings on their heads, the struggles they experienced. He shook his head. Your apologies, I can't accept it, because there is no one who deserves to be forgiven and apologized to in this place. Lee Se-wol, her face downcast, nodded. I see. We were thoughtless. We will see you at the Lunar New Year event. Uncle Cheol Mubarak sighed. Taiwan, huh? It has already been 30 years. Jin Tae-kyung nodded and said, Then we'd better get going. As he turned to leave, Lee Se-wol called out softly, Savior. Jin Tae-kyung turned back to look at her. Yes, she whispered. When we meet again in 15 days, the answer that I couldn't hear last time. I will be looking forward to it. Jin Tae-kyung froze, his heart racing. Suddenly, he dropped to his knees, coughing violently. Cough! 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 A few moments later, as their carriage set off, Jin Moo-kyung meditated in silence. Hyuk Moo-jin, exhausted from the journey, snored lightly on the bench. Jin Tae-kyung sat still, his thoughts weighing heavy on his mind. He opened his inventory. Item confirmed, a system notification echoed in his mind. Ding. Item, Power Burst Pill Grade. Limit, Martial Artist First Rate or above. Effect, Combat-related capabilities plus 100. Inner Energy plus 15 years. Bodily Chi Shield available for use. Created by someone unknown. For a short period of time, significantly increases the potential power of the user in exchange for a huge price. Not recommended for usage unless in the worst situation. Jin Tae-kyung frowned. Someone unknown, he thought to himself. No grade, unknown after effects, even the one who made it is unknown. This thing reeks of trouble. Which bastard created such a bizarre pill? As their carriage rolled forward, they arrived at Sakju, where a banner read, "Congratulations on the safe return of Jin Tae-kyung, Jin Moo-kyung, and Hyuk Moo-jin." Both Jin Tae-kyung and Jin Moo-kyung stood frozen, jaws dropping. Out of nowhere, Jin Wee-kyung rushed toward them, crying tears of joy. As he embraced them tightly, the intense pressure from the hug caused them to cough up blood, their faces filled with shock and pain. They all shouted in unison. A few hours later, as night falls, Jin Wee-kyung, Jin Moo-kyung, and Wee-peng sit together, their attention focused on the pill. Jin Tae-kyung speaks, breaking the silence. This is what they call the Power Burst Pill. They all react in awe. Power Burst Pill? Jin Tae-kyung nods, continuing, "Yes, I heard it from Pyang himself, but if it wasn't for the side effects, I would have kept it and used it myself. What a waste." Jin Moo-kyung raises an eyebrow, confused. Pyang? When the hell did that happen? Jin Tae-kyung sighs. After you passed out, of course. Jin Wee-kyung leans forward, his eyes sharp, and as soon as you swallow this, you would become so strong that you'd be able to use the bodily chi shield, right? He turns to Wee-peng. What are your thoughts on this? Is this really a pill made by the evil faction? Jin Moo-kyung exhales deeply, then responds, "Phew, let's hold off for now." Wee-peng shakes his head. "I can't tell. There was something called the explosive blood pill used by evil practitioners during the war between the just and evil factions, but this is the first time I've heard of the Power Burst pill. It looks quite wicked, but I can't sense any evil chi around it." Jin Wee-kyung looks thoughtful. Right? Something feels different about it. Jin Tae-kyung frowns. Maybe it wasn't the evil faction who made it. Jin Wee-kyung raises his eyebrows. "Not made by the evil faction," Wee-peng chimes in, intrigued. "What makes you say that?" Jin Tae-kyung speaks calmly. "Well, first off, we don't have to jump to that conclusion. Even during the last war, on the surface, everything happened because of the Mount Hang Sword sect. But it turned out that our real enemy was the head elder. I think it's only right to consider the possibility of a third party's involvement." Wee-peng mumbles, "Dark heaven." Jin Wee-kyung looks alarmed. "Wee-peng!" Wee-peng quickly apologizes. My apologies. I misspoke." Jin Tae-kyung, still confused, thinks to himself, "Dark heaven? What's that?" Suddenly, a system notification appears. Ding! You have been given a peek into the existence of Dark Heaven. Another notification follows, updating the Power Burst Pill's description. Ding! Power Burst Pill's description has been modified. Inner Energy plus 15 years. Bodily Chi Shield available for use. A pill made by someone unknown. For a short period of time, significantly increases the potential power of the user in exchange for a huge price. Not recommended for usage unless in the worst situation. Jin Tae-kyung mutters to himself. Judging from the context, I'm certain it's some kind of organization. He chuckles. This game developer's naming sense is amazing. They're telling us it's suspicious with just 2 letters, right? Jin Tae-kyung glances at Jin Wee-kyung and Wee-peng, sensing they know something more. Should I poke around? Jin Moo-kyung interrupts, his curiosity piqued. Dark Heaven? What is that? Jin Wee-kyung hesitates, then responds cautiously, About that. I'm sorry. It's not time for you two to know yet. I will tell you myself once it becomes clearer. Jin Tae-kyung and Jin Moo-kyung exchange glances, both silently thinking, so you're saying it's a secret you have to hide from us, right? Jin Tae-kyung, feeling determined, resolves. Dark Heaven. Power Burst Pill. A top secret that only Jin Wee-kyung and Wee-peng know. He shakes his head, muttering to himself, Good, I've made up my mind. I'm going to live my life without worrying about it. Jin Wee-kyung raises his cup with a grin. Now let's stop talking about this. It's been a while since we all met, so we should have a drink, right? As the beautiful maids enter the room with the feast, Jin Wee-kyung joyfully exclaims, Drink up. Let's drink until we die. 3 days later. People gather outside, murmuring excitedly. An old man asks, "What's going on? Did His Majesty come?" Someone responds eagerly, "He's coming." Suddenly a voice calls out in excitement, "Whoa! There he is!" The crowd erupts into cheers. "Whoa! Jin Tae-kyung, sleeping dragon of Shaanxi." The old man watches, his expression unreadable. Jin family of Taiyuan. Jin Tae-kyung, riding his horse and holding his sword, raises it high to acknowledge the crowd. The crowd continues to shout in excitement. "Whoa! Sleeping dragon of Shaanxi, sleeping dragon of Shaanxi. Jin Tae-kyung." The old man falls silent, deep in thought. "Sleeping dragon of Shaanxi," they say. Making this big of a fuss over someone like him. A system notification chimes again. Ding! Your fame goes up by 19. Ding! Your fame goes up by 26. Ding! Your fame goes up by 20. Ding! Your fame goes up by 31. Kyukmujin turns to Jin Tae-kyung with a smirk. "Do you like it that much?" "Sleeping dragon of Shaanxi." The crowd continues to chant in excitement. "Whoa!" Jin Tae-kyung scowls playfully. "You punk. Who said I liked it?" The crowd's energy continues to rise. "Wah!" Jin Tae-kyung mutters under his breath, stealthily. "I just livened up the mood because everyone liked it." Hyukmujin chuckles. "I have a lot to say, but I won't." Jin Tae-kyung looks at him with a grin. "Smart choice." The atmosphere is lively, but Jin Tae-kyung's mind remains heavy with secrets and mysteries. The system notifications ring in his mind, catching his attention. Ding! Your fame will increase dramatically. Ding! As the fame increases, your title Sleeping Dragon of Shaanxi's effect will be enhanced. Jin Tae-kyung is intrigued. Huh? Enhanced effect? He thinks to himself, sheathing his sword. Open character profile. A system notification pops up. Character level. 61 occupation. First-rate warrior fame. 2,100 plus 250 title. 5 titles title effects are currently applied strength. 195 plus 30 stamina. 197 plus 30 agility. 195 plus 30 intelligence. 40 plus 30 charm. 40 plus 30 QE endurance. 140 plus 30 age. 45 available points. 60 titles. Returner. All stats plus in Sleeping Dragon of Shaanxi. All stats plus 15. Fame plus 200. The son of a noble. All stats plus 5. Fame plus 50. Beginner trainee training speed plus 10% fighter in one-on-one combat. Combat-related stats plus 10%. Jin Tae-kyung mutters, "So the higher my fame, the higher my title's effects, huh?" His eyes widen. "Wait, I'm level 61 now?" The notifications continue, updating his stats. System notification, occupation, first-rate warrior fame, 2,100 plus 250 title. 5 titles title effects are currently applied strength, 195 plus 30 agility, 195 plus 30 charm, 40 plus 30 endurance, 2,000. Jin Tae-kyung grins to himself. "My combat stats are already over 200, and I'm 45 years old with this much chi. I grew up well. I grew up well." Suddenly, a fat elder looks at him and speaks with admiration. "Ho ho, such dignity. You truly live up to your brilliant name, Sleeping Dragon of Shaanxi." Jin Tae-kyung raises an eyebrow. "Ah, yes, but who might you be?" Hyukmujin whispers, "Isn't he the mayor, our mayor?" The crowd begins to murmur, "Yon Rayon? What is Yon Rayon?" "Excuse me, this is driving me crazy." It's a local official who manages the prefecture. A blind man chimes in, "Ah, a government official." The official clears his throat, then speaks. "Ahem, cough." Jin Tae-kyung plays along. "Aigu, my apologies. I hurt my head not too long ago, so I keep losing my memories." The official smiles. It's quite all right. You must have worked really hard to deal with those wicked bastards." "Ah, I also heard that you killed more than 500 evil troops, right?" Jin Tae-kyung laughs nervously. 500 people? No way. I know it's a rumor, but that's just 2. A person from the crowd interrupts. 500 people? Didn't the Sleeping Dragon of Shaanxi and the Heavenly Jin sword go together? Another adds, "Ho, then the 2 of you killed over 500 troops? My gosh, how can a man be so strong?" System notification ding. People are looking at you in awe. Ding. Your fame goes up by 40. The official exclaims, "That's just 2. Jin Tae-kyung smirks. "Underestimated. It's actually nearly 600 people." The official gasps in shock. 600 people. Jin Tae-kyung casually responds. "My second brother and I shared them evenly." The official is dumbfounded. "That means each of you dealt with 300 people." Yukmujin nervously whispers, "Young master, if you keep lying like that, you'll regret it later." System notification ding. People are looking at you in awe. Ding. Your fame goes up by 40. Jin Tae-kyung shrugs. Well, 285 to be exact. The official, completely taken aback, says, "Oh, so detailed." Jin Tae-kyung chuckles. "Oh my silly me. I almost forgot that I have something to do." The official, clearly still impressed, asks, "May I meet with Master Jin?" Jin Tae-kyung's eyes narrow. "I'm sorry, but I don't think he can see you right now. He's in the middle of chi meditation. As you know, it's a very dangerous thing." The official nods, understanding. "Ah, I see. Then there's no helping it. This is for you anyway, so I'll deliver it right here." He hands over a document. Jin Tae-kyung takes it, confused. "What is this?" The official explains, "It's an invitation from the Lord. The Lord was very impressed upon hearing of your recent achievements, so he wanted to meet with you. System notification, a quest has been created." Jin Tae-kyung thinks to himself, "The Lord wants to see me personally?" System notification ding. Quest, the Lord's invitation attention is bound to follow those with a high reputation. After hearing rumors about the sleeping dragon of Shangxi, the Lord of Shangxi province invites you and your family members to a luncheon tomorrow. Grade, third-rate mission, attending a luncheon hosted by the Lord. Incomplete limitation, Jin Tae-kyung reward. It depends on the Lord's degree of affection. Failure, the Lord will be extremely disappointed. System notification ding. Message, would you like to accept the quest? Accept or decline. Jin Tae-kyung frowns, muttering, "Huh? Something strange." System notification ding. If you reject the quest, the Lord may get upset. Jin Tae-kyung grits his teeth. Ugh, what the hell is this? Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.